Depth charts, unofficial. Even though they're from the official team, we got depth charts. Feels like football. Game week release was sent out I guess that was yesterday afternoon, early evening, because the Titans do play a game in Tampa Bay on Saturday night. They will practice tomorrow. They are off again today. Well, maybe not outright off, but they're not doing the full extent of a training camp practice today. On the field tomorrow morning, we'll be back out at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Either J.C. Latham or Tyler Lockett will join us there, and then we will collectively ship on down to Tampa and see what Todd Bowles and his staff have prepared for Cam Ward in his first joint training camp practice ahead of his first NFL game-ish action. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Robert, Lucas, and me with you until 1 o'clock. Robert has returned from his birthday celebration that none of us really still have confirmation about, because still I don't have a birthday email indicating that yesterday was your birthday. So I think you just lied to me to get the night off and go curling with your lovely girlfriend, Cheyenne.
T-line, incredible. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. I've often said curling, my favorite Olympic sport.
You know, I've been out there a bunch, and it's like a cool place to watch games. They've got a really good television viewing setup. There's bowling in there too, but there's never really a lot of people in there. Was it crowded last night?
Not at all. Super open. And it's like $30 a person to curl for an hour.
I think they make their nut off group events.
I could see that.
As opposed to regular traffic, because it's kind of tucked back there in the Nations, but it's a cool spot.
And when you're signing up, it says that $30 a person up to 10 people. So if they just rent out one of their lanes, I mean, that's $300 an hour. So
who is a better curler? You or Cheyenne?
Easily me.
No.
Easily me.
Nobody believes
just because
that.
I'm always in the gym hitting those curls. You know what I mean? I assume that directly correlates to how good you are at curling. So I would say that I was the infinitely better curler. Cheyenne was good at mopping the skooky thing in front of it.
Isn't it sweeping?
Sweeping, yes.
So I did prime time without you last night. Ross was terrible, but
how can one be terrible at prime time?
Well,
ways.
It's funny that you ask. It's funny that you ask, because I believe he found the one way to be terrible on prime time. Prime time is a streaming show that we do for A to Z Sports on a regular basis, and Ross, as you'll see from time to time in our live stream chat, just as this show is live streamed, Primetime is live streamed, and Ross will occasionally interact with the chat via his YouTube handle with our radio show audience. He did so last night from the A to Z account, but he forgot to just pick which streaming platform he was going to respond on. So every time Ross would respond, and he was doing it frequently, he would respond from the YouTube account, the Twitch account, and the Facebook account, all three in a row, all three saying the same message, to the point where it kept bogging down my chat, and I couldn't read comments, and I just ended up screaming at him.
What?
So the Titans depth chart came out yesterday.
I mean, there's really nothing there. What do you Cam Ward's your starter. Surprise.
Cam Ward is your starting quarterback. There is no or on this depth chart.
Oh, thank God.
The way there is in
The
Indy,
Colts.
by the way. Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. There are a couple of interesting takeaways, so let's overreact to it, shall we? Gunnar Helm, tight end 2.
Okay, this is the rare thing, because you know me to be hyperbolic and overreactionary. I could not squeeze reaction out of this depth chart. There's nothing there for me to overreact to.
I disagree.
What is there? The kick returner spot, because Jaquan Jackson is right now.
For one, yeah, the punt return spot with James Prochet.
It's the first depth chart.
Oh, I know.
They haven't played a preseason game. John Bones Fossil is up there at the podium talking on Saturday after practice about, we have no idea who our returners are because we haven't gone 11 on 11, as they will this coming week.
Yep.
So the fact that the initial depth chart is out there and it's just kind of status quo with everything that we knew coming in based on the reps that we see, and guy who did it last year, okay, you'll be the guy until such time as you're not. I don't know what there is to overreact to.
I don't care. There's names on a depth chart in order. James Prochet at punt return 1. Also, James Williams.
The things that get you going are so weird to me.
No, now you're getting to where I wanted to go.
What, the Prochet thing?
No, James Williams. James Williams, there's no or, there's no anything. He is the starter adjacent from Cody Barton.
And Cedric Gray right now is the second-team linebacker in that spot. In my opinion, there is a pretty big gap between James Williams and Cedric Gray so far in camp, in team drills. So seems like
one runs with the ones and the other one doesn't sniff the first year.
Right. So James Williams has a decent grasp on that starting job, understanding there's a lot of camp, there's preseason games to go. Also, depending on the health of L'Jarius Sneed, Gabe Jeudy-Lally is listed as a second-team corner, both at the nickel and at a cornerback spot behind Darrell Baker Jr. He looks like he could have a path to making this team. And then the offensive tackles.
It would depend on when Sneed becomes available, because they said sooner rather than later, and we are getting later rather than sooner.
But even still, let's say L'Jarius Sneed becomes available and he's your starting corner, and that moves Darrell Baker Jr. to CB2 in that slot. Gabe Jeudy-Lally, at this point in time, is listed as the backup nickel behind Roger McCreary, which I don't think is insignificant. And then the tackle spots, the backups behind Dan Moore Jr. and J.C. Latham at the moment are John Ojukwu and Jalen Duncan.
Yeah.
And that's who's been repping with the twos. But if there is a battle for...
I'm waiting for you to tell me what the surprise is.
You are just a thief of joy, aren't you?
Okay, you getting joy from a depth chart is weird, objectively.
I'm looking at our show grid right here, Titans depth chart, to open the show. And as we start talking about the Titans depth chart, you're upset that we're talking about the Titans depth chart.
No, I think you interrupted a more interesting conversation than, the guy that's taking all the first-team reps, that's the other starting linebacker?
The conversation I interrupted was about you and your streaming show, which literally nobody cares about.
No, the curling.
The Titans depth chart.
We're talking about the curling.
People do care about. But the two tackles, when it comes to the swing tackle spot, that OT3, so to speak, I wondered if Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon would have an opportunity, and I guess he still will, to earn that spot. But right now, Duncan and Ojukwu seem to be OT 3 and 4 in whatever order you would put it in.
You know why that's a surprise to him, Robert?
Why is that?
Because he's talking about ice cream instead of watching the one-on-ones when the pads come on.
No, like those are the guys that have been working with the twos.
No. I'm saying about Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon because he has been objectively bad if you've been watching him.
Jalen Duncan at right tackle, John Ojukwu at left tackle.
Power through. Bro.
Are we talking about this again at noon 30?
We are going to talk about we're going to talk about one specific element of this. Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to fire all my shots off.
Give me one.
Okay. Interesting. Generally at this time, I think rookies are relegated to the back end of the depth chart, where veterans or the incumbents maybe
under the previous coaching staff, that would have been the case.
Notable that I think that Mullings is listed above Chestnut. That Mullings is behind Tajay Spears as your backup, given all his fumbling issues through camp and the fact that Joey Chestnut has not looked bad.
Not Joey Chestnut.
Or what do I get? Julius.
Legend Joey Chestnut.
Love them dogs. Julius Chestnut, he hasn't looked bad through camp either. I would have assumed at an early depth chart he would have been placed above Mullings. So I wonder if this is indicative of how they are feeling about Mullings, or just the writing on the wall is that they don't have space for Chestnut.
No, I think that the thing, and we may have talked about this when you were doing the show last week as opposed to Thursday and Friday, or maybe that was when you were working with Ramon in the morning. But we kind of had a back and forth conversation about the fact that they prioritized better football players at their specific position last year when making roster cuts, as opposed to guys that would have additional special teams value. And Hassan Haskins was the talking point there. Hassan Haskins goes on to the Chargers. He's a good special teams player. He's an effective enough running back. And Hassan Haskins does better elsewhere, and the Titans' special teams unit struggle for a great many reasons, not just because of that, but they did go out of their way to say, yeah, we're prioritizing guys who play positions as opposed to guys who would have plus value on special teams. Kalel Mullings is not a plus running back. He is a plus special teamer as a former linebacker. Because I did ask Brian Callahan, I guess that would have been Sunday before practice, about the ball security issues for Kalel Mullings, and that was something that he said obviously he needs to work on, but he, tried to turn it around, which is fine. It's a fine argument to make. Tried to turn it around and say, well, yeah, that means we also have guys going for the ball, which I would assume that they should be doing anyway. But, Kalel Mullings is somebody who you notice more putting the ball on the ground or putting himself in a position that he could fumble even if he doesn't outright fumble.
And we've had that discussion. Like, are you willing to take that, your RB3, having some issues holding on to the ball at camp, when during the season, in all likelihood, he's not going to be carrying the football unless you're in a pretty dire situation injury-wise at running back? Are you willing to take that onto your roster if it means a plus on special teams where that player will actually be playing?
Why can't Chestnut be on the practice squad?
Oh, I never said he couldn't. I mean,
No, I know.
We're
I'm
talking about the active roster.
That's the reason why I didn't understand their logic last year, where they were kind of casual with the special teams abilities of players. Because, like, why can't you just put the guy on the P squad as opposed to letting him go and getting him scooped up? And I know Hassan Haskins, I think Hassan Haskins was waived, so teams had the opportunity to claim him instead of outright released. But that is something that is worth noting. People, we'll get to this at 12:30 or 12:20 because, as Robert says, we don't want to do all our depth chart analysis now. There's only so much to be done.
Well, you don't want to do any, it would seem.
Well, I'm not surprised by any of it, and you're treating it like it's a revelation that Jalen Duncan is offensive tackle 3. Who the hell else do they have?
No, but I do remember at the beginning of the camp when he came out and gave lip service to James Williams, like, hey, James is doing really well.
You're talking about Callahan.
Yes, and we rebuffed it. Usually he just says that about the guys who need the extra coaching. I think that Otis Reese probably will play a bigger part in this linebacker role. Now where we are, sure. I think it's worth noting. Okay, we did not think this, and now we do think this.
And that is something, because that was way back in, I think it was still voluntary stuff. I don't even think we'd gotten into mandatory minicamp.
And by the way,
at that point in time,
what is obvious to you on this depth chart is not obvious to legions of an audience that are not at Titans practice every day.
Which is something that I want to get to at 12:20 today, because there was a kind of reaction yesterday that I was not expecting from Titans fans that I do think is funny, and we will have time to talk about that. But there is a conversation to be had about expectation. Based on the depth chart, I think some people need to adjust their expectation for what they may think the Titans can do in 2025. They have, and we honestly got some pushback on the poll that you put out. You can vote on the polls at Buck Rising if you want to participate in the polls, because you selected the segment we're going to do next is who has higher expectations of local football teams between University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and the Tennessee Titans. And you excluded one that is getting some pushback on social media that may have higher expectations than all four. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Man, that's a high note, man. How many people you think can get up there like that? Great song.
Let's all try.
Robert.
Higher and higher.
That's actually not bad from either of you.
Now your turn.
I can't. I don't have that.
Come on, we can't either, but we did.
No. I think the two of you got way closer. If I did that, I would get phlegmy and my voice would go.
What a coward.
It's true. We are going to get to the level of expectation. Certainly not higher. Anything but higher and higher for the level of football in this state of recently, except for Vanderbilt, whose standard has historically been lowered. You see them getting dragged for the Birmingham Bowl rings over the weekend?
Look, at least they won the damn thing.
I had it in my head that they lost to Georgia Tech.
Nope, Georgia Tech lost and also got rings.
Did they stop giving out bowl rings?
Yeah, that's not a new thing. You get a trophy for winning a bowl game.
But they don't do it anymore, or they do it? They still do it.
I just don't think schools.
I don't think they flaunt it that much.
Programs with actual accomplishments do not flaunt their bowl rings. Now, Vandy does not do a lot of bowl attendance in the first place, much less winning of bowl games. So the fact that they did it and then got summarily dragged for it is just, the standard is different, or the expectation, as we were getting ready to talk about, is different for Vanderbilt. We will get to expectations for the three football teams here locally here in just a second, and which one has the highest level of expectation. We were talking about the depth chart earlier. Titans did produce one. 615-737-1045 if you have questions, comments, or concerns. We'll start with Dylan.
Look, I just want to kind of irritate you a little bit by saying Lucas is totally right. Speaking a man of the people here, I've got no intel, no pulse here on the depth chart, so I am a little bit geeked out to see the first one. Bring back Pudgy Buck, man. I feel like you lost your sensitivity and excitement. You've been working out too much. Love you guys.
The fat buck. Yeah, no, we killed that one. That one had to die.
Yeah.
Although I did have one of these flourless chocolate cookies this morning, and it is delightful. It makes me want to be fat again.
A better human, according to Dylan.
Much nicer too.
Well, yeah, because you have to be. Because what are you going to do? You're going to be mean to people when you're fat? No.
I mean, you were.
That's
still
why
mean.
You're so jolly. Oh, I think I heard him.
You don't get to call me jolly like I'm Santa Claus.
It's a nice way to call somebody fat.
No. I would rather you call me Hagrid, rundown, anything besides.
Oh, sure. That sounds more manly, more rugged instead of what I just made you, which is a plush doll.
No, I'm rustic.
But yeah, to Dylan's point, we could sit here and say, well, yeah, of course, didn't you watch practice? Of course, they're with the twos on the depth chart.
No, I get
Dylan
caught
doesn't
up.
know that.
I get caught up. I forget that not everybody listens to all 3 hours every day where we've just been droning on about this stuff. So I get it. There is nothing wrong with being excited about the depth chart, but I do want to get into a level of something that surprised me about the reaction to the depth chart later on in the show, and we will do just that. So, expectations for local football. What is local football? Titans, Vols are local because it's the biggest fan base in the state. Vanderbilt, just down the street from us here over on Music Row. We left Memphis off the poll, and we got some pushback because Memphis is not a bad football program. Memphis is in the state of Tennessee. I know Memphis and Nashville. What are you doing with your phone on?
No, nothing.
What is it?
I didn't hear anything.
Is it the YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Memphis is in the state of Tennessee, even though people in Nashville treat Memphis like a separate country from the rest of the state of Tennessee. Well, Knoxville, Nashville, and Memphis all treat each other like three different countries within the same state. Memphis is a solid football program and has been for some period of time. Does Memphis deserve a seat in this discussion? Because we are talking about it from our perspective, and we almost never talk about Memphis football.
Yeah, actually, that is oversight. I think to not put Memphis in this poll.
Well, can you edit? Because I have Twitter, the premium subscription. You can edit it if you want to, right?
I think we would just prefer
polls?
you to do it correctly the first time when you put these polls up and think about the entire state and not just your locale.
That would be more ideal if you did that, but you didn't, so we just keep it moving. Memphis was picked to finish second in the American. So, to be honest, the answer to this question as a whole is Memphis. who has the highest expectations in the state of Tennessee relative to their league?
That's why I brought it up.
The answer is Memphis.
That's why I brought it up. Memphis has the highest level of expectation of any of the 4 football programs in the state, college or pro. Now, we did not include MTSU in this discussion. I know it is MTSU's media day. Ramon and Will were up there hanging out this morning, and they did talk to Derek Mason, the former Vanderbilt coach, not the former Titans wide receiver. And I would be lying if I said I had any concept of where MTSU is in their competitive balance right now. We don't pay as much attention as we probably should, given that Murfreesboro is only about 35, 40 minutes down the road, and that we do have a fairly substantial audience in Murfreesboro, of which we appreciate. MTSU does not come up a lot, though, on the show.
So let's right this wrong real quick. Memphis won 11 games last year.
Did you edit it?
Again, it's right there. It's your account, your phone.
Honestly, you probably know more how to do polls than I do at this point.
They finished or picked to finish second in the American. They won 11 games last year, and they bring in Brendan Lewis as their quarterback, transfer quarterback, dual threat guy. They've got a path to the college football playoff through the American Conference. Tulane was picked to be the favorite in the American, but Memphis, you could argue, has a clearer path to the college football playoff this year than either Tennessee or Vanderbilt. By way of, obviously, winning the American, they'd have to have a great season on their way to doing so and be the highest-ranked Group of 5 champion. But that seems more likely that Memphis, let's say, wins another 11 games this season and wins their league than Tennessee winning 10 games, 11 games.
It's the reason I brought it up, because I saw one person in particular, just because I was scrolling through after you put them up, on excluding Memphis, because to their point, Memphis is in the state of Tennessee, boys. Got to remind you from time to time, because only the 3 options, Dom Perignon on Twitter tweeted us and says, Memphis does exist, Buck.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's
Memphis does exist.
It's fair. It's oversight by you. But also, the majority of our audience here is paying attention to the Vols, to the Titans, and to Vanderbilt,
by a mile,
who is very local.
We do not talk about Memphis football, not for any, not for any, what's the word I'm looking for? Not because we don't like Memphis or because we don't consider Memphis, but there's just not as many Memphis fans in the city of Nashville and within our listening audience.
But I think it's mostly because it's a preventative measure. Because after November 15th, when the Memphis Tigers go to Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, it's not going to matter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. What is the name of your stadium?
Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium.
That is a terrible stadium name.
Well, magic happens there, and I was more excited because I was like, I'm going to go to Memphis. I'm going to bring the Pirate energy to Memphis.
I've never been to Memphis. I'm down to go.
Well, they don't play there this year. They play in Greenville, USA. So you can go on a. We can fly there. We can fly to their airport.
They have an airport?
Oh yeah, there are 2 hangars.
Not 1, but 2.
Yeah, they got 2 hangars.
So
I think you have to take a biplane in.
The dream ends.
What is
the
this,
dream,
Alaska? A biplane.
I think you have to take a hang glider in there. But the dream ends at ECU is what you're saying for Memphis this year.
That is correct. Unfortunately, they'll get to ride high until November 15th. Then they'll have to go to Thanksgiving with all their families and realize that their dreams were crushed at the hands of the Pirates.
ECU picked to finish 8th in the American.
Famously not the
keep that
Purple
moving.
Pirates.
Keep that moving. No.
Oh, they're picked to finish 8th.
Well, I mean, they do have a brand new head coach and a second-year quarterback. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's okay. When UNC leaves to go to the SEC,
you know what? That's fine.
We will take their position.
We will send you on assignment. I will personally send you on assignment to Greenville, North Carolina. You will cover this game, and when Memphis whips that ass, you will come back and deliver your Big J journalism report on the state of the Pirates and why Memphis undid them.
What if you sent me to Charlotte ECU? That's homecoming weekend, November 8th. You think you could swing that?
Do that one instead. Just have nothing related to the show.
I think we could win that one.
Just wants to have a good time.
I feel like you get drunk enough on my dime as it is. If we're gonna send you somewhere for actual show stuff, then you're probably gonna get drunk anyway.
I'm royalty there. Are you kidding me? They'd bring me to Slicker.
Royalty.
They'd bring me to 515. They'd bring me to all the good places.
You know what else is royalty?
What's that?
You, when you walk into Holiday World, you're treated like a king. Sit back and relax at Holiday World and Splash and Safari's all-new Summer Wind Down Culinary Festival. Wind down.
Yes, I caught that.
Taste your way through 30 new creations with regional wine pairings. It's flavor, fun, and summer done right. Sign up for your chance to win tickets today at 1045thezone.com/contest.
Now, wait a minute. This is a wine festival at Holiday World?
That sounds amazing.
Have you been to Holiday World?
Two of the classiest things that you could put together.
Indiana wine and a
Regional
theme park based
Indiana
on
wine
holidays.
and Holiday World and Splash and Safari.
Yes, this is a great year.
For you, that's that. You know what? That's where we're sending you. That is your on assignment reporting.
Give me another box of wine. I'm going to ride this here gravy boat.
Yes. They do have a gravy boat. You are familiar with the gravy boat ride?
Oh, yeah, I've been there with Cheyenne. I had a great time.
Oh, this is 2015 from Gary, I believe. So, honestly, Memphis
Hey,
aside.
are you sure that's wine or blood? If it's coming from Gary, bud, you got to be careful.
I'll take a Dr. Pepper.
Free soft drinks. I do think we can put Memphis aside because, yeah, they probably have the highest expectations relative to their goals in their league.
And we will put them to the side because Lucas is least equipped to talk about Memphis.
But I think it's a more interesting discussion between Titans, Vols, and Vanderbilt. Which fan base?
It's a more interesting discussion for us locally, for sure.
Which fan base has the highest aspirations this year? Realistic aspirations.
Those are two different things because you've just tried to make fans realistic. And famously, the most unrealistic fan base in this state is the one that has the highest level of expectation, which is your fan base.
I'm trying to think for the average Tennessee fan, because you know where I am on this.
You are not the average Tennessee fan.
I understand. This looks to me like an 8-4 kind of season for Tennessee. Below 8 wins this season, I'll be disappointed. Obviously, context of how that happens matters, and injuries, and they're thin at receivers. We talked about, by the way, Mike Matthews back to practice.
Okay.
Braylon Staley out of practice. So they kind of keep this cycle going of receivers getting dinged up and exposing their lack of depth there. So obviously there's a lot that can happen to sort of torpedo your season or to uplift your season. But for me, around that 8-win mark and with the goal of winning 1 or 2 games that you're maybe not supposed to, feels like that area of expectation for me with Tennessee this year. I don't know where the most optimistic of Tennessee fans would have Tennessee this year. I don't know that there are that many Tennessee fans out there that are sitting here baseline expecting to be in the college football playoff. I'm sure they're out there, but I bet they're far and few between. Like, yes, Tennessee fans can absolutely be delusional. Tennessee fans can be psychotic, but Tennessee fans also pay a lot of attention to their football team. So they know that there's a question right now at quarterback.
Lucas, you told me yesterday that the university blurred out the number of a player who threw an interception at practice.
That's been debunked. That has been debunked. We were going to talk about that, the idea that they maybe blurred out the quarterback that threw an interception in a video, blurred out the number.
And they did that because their fan base is reasonable.
They blurred out Miles Kitselman's number. The actual picture has surfaced, and it is 87 Miles Kitselman.
Accusations. These are not false accusations.
Who is in a red non-contact jersey as he works his way back. He's not totally 100%. So, yes, Blurgate was a thing for a minute.
Okay.
But it's been debunked.
But it's not, like, if you told me that was a thing for the University of Tennessee fan base, I would believe you.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're insane.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with that point.
So I think through the context, through the prism of what we're talking about, one, there are far more Tennessee fans than there are Titans fans or Vanderbilt fans. It's just by percentage, this is true. They are going to have, on aggregate, a higher level of expectation than the professional team that was the worst team in football last year, and Vanderbilt, who has historically not mattered and just now matters and is celebrating their latest success and being harassed for it.
Okay,
with the bowl rings.
What does a reasonable Tennessee fan to you expect of this coming season?
I think what you just said, where 8 wins feels about right. But Lucas, if they win 7 this year,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're allowed. I mean, you are allowed to be as disappointed as you want to be, I guess. But I don't think that you should be because there's so many things.
There's a lot of questions
about that. You said if they win less than 8 games, I will be disappointed, and then cited a bunch of reasons why they could.
No, for sure. There's a lot of questions.
Win less than 8 games.
What I want out of this season is for Josh Heupel to show the floor that he's established at this program. Because this feels like the type of year with the offseason they had with the quarterback situation and some of the drama off the field. This feels like the perfect year where you understand Tennessee's not a contender for Heupel to show what his floor is?
What did Pate come in here and say? I don't know. It's been about a month since he came in. That this would have to be the best coaching job that Josh Heupel did this season.
Yeah. And there's a scenario where Tennessee doesn't win 9-10 games and get to the playoff, but the feeling, the momentum is on Heupel's side at the end of the season with the quarterback you have coming down the pipe next year and maybe the idea that you played above your weight this year. I would like to see Heupel prove that this season. That's my expectation, is that he shows us the floor that I believe he's established at the program, which would be to the tune of around 8 wins, right? I mean, pretty appropriate to see Tennessee ranked 18th in the coaches poll.
That's fine.
Yeah, a step back, but not a giant fall cratering into the abyss. Yeah. So let's say the reasonable Tennessee fan has thereabouts expectation of 8-ish wins. Where does the reasonable Vanderbilt fan expect Vanderbilt to finish this season?
I think a reasonable Vanderbilt fan has to look at last year, see the opportunities that they capitalized on, but also the opportunities that they missed. See the schedule and how the degree of difficulty is going to be 10 times more on the road against Alabama and Texas than it was at home, and say that team, even though, depending on what happens with health, and of course that's a precursor that you could say about any of these football teams, that they would finish worse than they did last year. That it's realistic to think that they could have a losing record this year based on the degree of difficulty of specifically the fact that they have to go on the road for their toughest games. And, can they get Georgia State this time around as opposed to losing to Georgia State last year?
Yeah.
Those kind of things, like you can even it out and you can still hold them to a higher standard than you otherwise did, because last year was just house money.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that to happen. No way in hell.
Remember, it's the same schedule. Just flip-flopped home and road.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So if
you beat Bama, are you going to beat Bama in Tuscaloosa?
That's what I'm saying.
That feels tough. But can you make up that potential loss with actually beating Georgia State this time?
Well, it doesn't make up, like, Vanderbilt fans are not going to say, well, we may lose on the road at Bama, but we beat Georgia State.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm talking about in the quest for bowl eligibility. In the quest for bowl eligibility, with the same schedule played out in 2025, last year, you beat Bama, but you lost to Georgia State. Okay, do you have to beat Bama to be bowl eligible this year like you did last year? No. You could lose to Bama, beat Georgia State, and the other results are status quo, and you're bowl eligible. Can you beat Virginia Tech on the road under the lights after beating them in overtime at home last year? You have to go to Texas this year after playing them very close at home last season. What can you do with Tennessee? Do you have an opportunity to get Tennessee? You do have to go on the road at the end of the season.
At Neyland, no, they are at South Carolina this year too.
I believe Vanderbilt goes to South Carolina.
Yeah, they're at
some
South
tough road
Carolina.
Trips. But I think the reasonable Vandy fan should have the expectation of bowl eligibility.
I just don't see it on that schedule. I mean, Georgia State, Virginia Tech, Utah State, Kentucky's down bad right now. Mm-hmm. So I think Kentucky is gettable, and Kentucky is here in Nashville, though I'm sure there will be Kentucky fans here that do what opposing SEC fan bases do at Vanderbilt Stadium and try and take it over that way. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with Auburn this year. I'm sure most people don't. All of the other teams on their schedule are superior. I don't know that reasonable expectation for Vanderbilt fans should be bowl eligibility.
Well, they'll be better in a lot of ways. They'll be better on the offensive line. They have an NFL tight end coming back to play football for them this year. Diego Pavia, another year in the system, a little deeper than they were last year. So I think there should be an expectation of the football team improving, and with that coming at or better than what you did last year. No, but last year you had a once-in-a-lifetime best win in program history. Yeah. So that's the question for Vanderbilt fans, is how do you use that to gauge expectations this season?
My case for this, though, is they can be a better football team and still lose more games.
It's possible. Possible.
That's kind of where I'm at with them. It's similar to the Titans. I know we're just kind of shoehorning the Titans into the middle of this, and we've talked at great length about that. And we can do more of this at 12:20 when we circle back around to the depth chart. But the Titans could be an improved football team this year. And if they were to win 3 games, somebody's probably getting fired. But if they won 4, that's an improvement. And if they look better doing it and they're not getting blown out as often as they were, then theoretically that's an improvement, even if it's just one more win. So Vanderbilt, I look through the same prism and say, yeah, there are plenty of reasons to cite that they would be a better football product top to bottom, and their schedule is just pretty unforgiving this year. 615-737-1045. You can join the conversation if you would like to. Do we have things to give away? Oh, he's on the phone.
Oh, we got
We do. Tickets to see Nelly.
Oh, Nelly tickets. Give us the thing in sports that made you say, oh, no. Coming up next, 615-737-1045. And we will give you the opportunity to win those Nelly tickets, but you have to bring a good oh, no submission. You guys have struggled with these giveaways in the last couple of weeks. The submissions have been poor, but I need you to bring your A game coming up next. 615-737-1045. What in sports made you say, oh no? We are going to give you our submissions. You can give us yours, and if you give us the best one, we will send you to a Nelly concert. When's the Nelly concert, Robert?
Sometime in the future.
All right, very good. We will get you more details on that.
Maybe.
Potentially. No promises.
She's going to show up. Is Nelly today? I came here to see Nelly.
What venue? Do you at least have the venue for these people?
I don't have diddly pulled up.
What? This is literally... Okay, that's fine.
This is literally your job. It loses its sting. It loses its sting.
I stopped myself from doing it. 615-737-1045.
But it's not just the Nelly tickets. It is a pair, or actually a $100 gift card to A Moment's Peace, and it is 2 tickets to see Nelly at Ascend Amphitheater, September 16th.
Okay.
2032.
$100 gift card to A Moment's Peace, Salon and Day Spa. They make this segment possible. It's a great place for you to get a gift for a family member, a friend, or a loved one that may be, just stressed out or need a little TLC in their life. Or you could win a $100 gift card right now, plus those Nelly tickets. The thing in sports that made me say, oh no, is Mary Kay Cabot. You're familiar with Mary Kay Cabot?
Yes, the Browns reporter.
Longtime Browns reporter. She was just recently inducted as she accepted the Bill Nunn Memorial Award during the Pro Football Hall of Fame Gold Jacket Dinner, because she's been doing it for a long, long time, not to age her, but she's excellent, obviously, at what she does. She's been covering the Browns since 1991, which would include Bill Belichick's tenure as the Browns head coach. And as she was talking about her experience working with Bill Belichick, she gave probably the one-liner of the year.
If Bill didn't like something I wrote, he'd call and yell at me. If you asked a dumb question, he'd call you out. Eventually, I had to learn to stand up to him. During one of those yelling matches, I told him, if you don't have the footballs to say that to the guys, then don't say it to me. Bam. But now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
Uncomfortable laughter from the crowd because famously Bill Belichick is dating a 25-year-old.
Well done, Mary Kay Cabot.
Well done, Mary Kay Cabot. Now, how much has Bill Belichick fallen to where people are comfortable taking shots like that at him in public? Because if something like that had happened, 5 years ago, we would have all been like, whoa.
I mean, just wait till North Carolina starts losing games this year. We'll see what happens.
Well done by Mary Kay.
By the way, you know who they open with?
North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
No.
TCU. Oh, yeah. You beat me to it. I'm glad you know ACC schedules, Lucas. What, preying on your competition's downfall? Wait till Carolina starts losing games. Yeah.
Well, I say that because I just want to remind folks that Sonny Dykes had the honor of coaching against Deion in Deion's first game as the Colorado head coach. And now Sonny Dykes coaches against Bill Belichick in his first game as a Power 4 head coach. We'll see if it goes a little better for Sonny Dykes and TCU this time around. What made me say, oh no, in sports this week is a certain former football coach that has announced that he is running for Senate.
Ah, yes.
In the state of Georgia. Derek Dooley is looking to go to Washington, and we have found his first campaign video announcing his candidacy.
I started going to Georgia's practice as long as I can remember. We had the worst shower discipline of any team I've ever been around. We talked a little bit about application of soap to the rag and making sure you hit all your body. You know, you can neglect it trying to cut corners, and it shows in how you practice and elsewhere. You know, one of the great milestones for me as a kid was when I was old enough to where my father would trust me being on the sidelines during a football game. You know, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I bet it was about a 75-yard kick. To me, those are Georgia values. The only thing that matters to me is the people of Georgia are proud with who's representing them in Washington, D.C. You know, right now, we're like the Germans, all right? Here comes the boats, you know, the binoculars, like, oh, my God. The invasion is coming. I spent 3 decades in coaching, probably doing the exact opposite what a lot of D.C. politicians were doing. And they said, well, who didn't survive? And he says, the optimists. and their spirit would get broken, and they die. We need new leadership in Georgia. That's why I'm running for Senate.
That's Derek Dooley and his candidacy, with a little bit of Derek Dooley featured from his time at Tennessee and the many, many incredible quotes he had despite the lack of wins.
We're like the Germans.
What a time. We don't have enough time to talk about the Derek Dooley era at Tennessee, sitting on a stool after getting surgery on the sideline, having to be wheeled up to the press box, shower discipline, Rommel, so many things.
Well, just quickly, and it's not even a political discussion because I genuinely don't know the answer to this. Is Tommy Tuberville, who is a former college football head coach, now occupying a political space, is he an effective politician? Like, is his...
I don't... You are asking the wrong guy.
I know that, but, like, I just... are people just being around sports? Because I know Herschel Walker had candidacy here, not here, but was trying to get into the political space here recently. And
Dooley was a practicing lawyer at one point.
No, I understand. Dooley, ironically, may be the most qualified of the three.
He's a smart guy.
To be, yeah, well, okay. God, it's so good. Bert, what's your own no?
Is it bad that I like Dooley? Like, I probably would have been a Dooley apologist
sure.
during his tenure.
He's
as
a
coach.
likable person. He's hilarious.
He's just a bad football coach.
Couldn't win any damn football game. I saw Andy Staples put this on Twitter, who, during his first debate, will have the guts to ask him why he didn't sign a single offensive lineman in the class of 2012 at Tennessee.
Luke is trying to pan into the Zoom conference like, I have a question.
I have a question.
A man who did no trouble winning over the weekend. You guys aren't familiar with this, but Seth Rollins, who won the World Heavyweight Championship this weekend. It was a big ruse. It was me, Austin. It was me all along, where he had lied. It was a fabrication in the story that they were telling that he had suffered an injury, and they made a big deal about it. His knee was tore up. He's going to have surgery. He was going to be out for a year.
No, I saw that.
Well, it was all a lie. He cashed in his Money in the Bank contract this weekend to defeat CM Punk, and he talked about this with what's this old dude's name? Has a show on CBR, Roku. He runs a race. Why can I not think of it? You'll hear his name and know it. Either way, he was on a show this weekend for Roku talking about why it was so hard for him to keep this a secret, and it was his daughter's fault.
My daughter, she thought it was a game. She thought it was a fun little game. I told her, Daddy's got a pretend boo-boo, let's put it that way, for the next few weeks. So let's just keep that on the low, Okay. First thing she did is went and told her preschool teacher, Miss Joy. First thing she did, immediately. No way. And then, of course, she had to tell me that she told Miss Joy, and then she had to give me the classic, Nana boo-boo, I told Miss Joy. I was like, how am I supposed to live my life? How
are you supposed to live your life with kids? Yes, I agree. So Seth Rollins, it was tough for him to keep it a secret for 3 weeks. He had to lie to his relatives, lie to his friends.
Lie to Miss Joy.
Lie to Miss Joy.
What a great name for a preschool teacher, by the way.
Oh, God. Anyway.
What was that?
It was just, that seems like a very apropos name for a school teacher. That's all I was going to say.
There was a note of sensuality in your voice. Why were you?
That's something only you're picking up. So you can't keep secrets with little kids. That's my own no.
615-737-1045 is the number. I thought for sure you were going to go with our boy getting his finger broke.
Oh, no. That's not his fault. That was not Jelly's fault. You're talking about it came out that during Jelly Roll's training with WWE, he broke his finger the first day, taped it up, kept going. That's not an oh, yeah. No. That's an oh, yes.
Oh, I thought I misunderstood then. I thought he broke his finger because whichever Paul brother is in WWE went flying through the air and landed on him flatly. I saw that.
No, my backup on no was Patrick McCary, who the Jaguars signed in free agency to a 3-year, $36 million deal. We talked about how there are no oars on the Titans depth chart. There is an oar on the Jags depth chart with their $12 million a year guard, where it is Patrick McCary or Chuma Edoja. And it's like, you just paid this guy $12 million. He is the starter. There is no oar. What are you talking about?
God, the Jags suck. All right, we'll take your phone calls for the opportunity to win these Nelly tickets and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa next.
It is 11:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans released the first unofficial depth chart of the season. Quarterback Cam Ward, the only rookie listed as a starter. On defense, James Williams Sr. is slotted next to Cody Barton at linebacker. The team is reportedly signing veteran safety Joshua Bledsoe, according to Jordan Schultz, formerly of the Patriots and Steelers. Titans hit the practice field tomorrow before they head to Tampa for joint practice ahead of Saturday's preseason opener. The college football coaches poll was released on Monday. Tennessee ranked 18th. Texas is ranked number 1 with Ohio State number 2. Meanwhile, in Knoxville during fall camp, Tennessee defensive back Boo Carter is back to being a full participant at practice with the Vols, according to multiple reports. It comes 1 week after Josh Heupel said Carter would have to earn his way back onto the field. In NFL news, the LA Rams and Pro Bowl running back Kyron Williams have agreed to terms on a new extension, a 3-year deal worth $33 million with $23 million in guaranteed money. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
We've got NFL headlines. Titans are not practicing at training camp today. They'll be back on the field tomorrow. We've got your phone calls to take for Oh No and an SEC show that is going to feature a great many programs, including both Vanderbilt and Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Lucas? Both Vandy and Tennessee are featured in this Netflix series that is getting ready to debut.
Correct.
We will talk about that a little later on this hour. We're happy to have you back for the second hour of the show, or thanks for jumping on if you're just now doing so with Robert, Lucas, and me. A quick programming note, J.C. Latham, told you it was either going to be Latham or Tyler Lockett tomorrow on the radio show. Latham is going to be on the radio show. The last interaction that we had with J.C. Latham, I don't think you were here. It was after Vanderbilt beat Alabama, and he was not very happy with me for bringing it up. So we'll hope that this goes a little more smoothly the last time J.C. Latham was on the show, but we'll do that after training camp practice tomorrow. I also told him to bring a submission for the dumbest thing in sports this week.
Oh, good.
So, in the absence of that, and before we get to the headlines, because there are several, we are taking your calls for Oh No, 615-737-1045. We gave our submissions. Mine was Mary Kay Cabot and her zinger at the expense of Bill Belichick. Lucas's was Derek Dooley's candidacy for state office. It's state office, right, in the state of Georgia?
Yes, he wants to be a senator out of Georgia.
Robert, remind me yours.
No.
That's fine.
It's because you don't listen to me.
Okay.
It was Seth Rollins' daughter potentially ruining his surprise injury foe.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't retain that in particular. 615-737-1045.
One day you will not have this man, and you will sorely miss his presence.
I'll just
He didn't have me last night, and all he could do was berate and complain about Ross
all
doing
he
it.
did today is complain about how bad primetime was because Robert wasn't there for one day.
No, because Ross is dumb.
So
I'll just pick somebody else to be mean to.
take this man for granted at your own risk.
I will, and I will do it again. 615-737-1045 is how you make your submissions for Oh No for the opportunity to win 2 tickets to an LA concert on September the 16th and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Let's start with Leonard in Nashville.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Well, my oh no is my Detroit Lions. I've been waiting 40 years for them to go to the Super Bowl. They were 4th and 2 or so, and the ball hit the wide receiver right in the hands. He dropped it. I said, oh no, and I fucking cried.
Oh, no. No, you can't say that on the radio. No, Leonard.
And you lose. Good day, sir.
Oh. Is he talking about the preseason game?
I think he's talking about last year in the playoffs.
Can't say that.
It has to be this week, Leonard, and also don't say.
You can't. He told me the whole thing off air, and he didn't say that once. They're like a nice man.
You know what? I don't doubt that he meant it. I think that was genuine. I believe that he cried. Yeah, sorry, Leonard. You can't win the tickets if you drop an F-bomb on FCC Safe Air. Is this Ken in Laverne? Hey, Ken. No cuss words, please.
I will not. I guess mine just changed. Leonard definitely has got to be the thing that made me say, oh, no.
Pretty good.
But also, Shannon Sharp would be my oh, no, as he just lost an alleged $23 million in a settlement, then goes on to make a joke on air with Chad Johnson about his pockets being light now. Like, you just settled a sexual assault charge, my man, or a lawsuit. I don't think you should be making jokes about it. So that made me say, oh, no, for sure.
I agree. Thank you for the call. He may not need the ESPN thing, and remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win those tickets. Shannon Sharp is not going to be on ESPN anymore. He did settle that rape suit that was brought against him by, I think it was an OnlyFans model. It's like a 22-year-old or 23-year-old OnlyFans model. He also had that Instagram Live situation where he was clearly in the act with somebody. I don't know if it was her or somebody else, but you just got to be a little more cautious around this stuff generally, especially if you've got something like that on your track record. Chad is next.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We got
my oh no gotta be started off with just the disrespect for Memphis, man. I mean, I think it's part of everybody's contract at 104.5, so I'm gonna just let that ride. But my real oh no is the 17 quarterbacks that the Cleveland Browns got, man. Like, they just signed another quarterback, man. It's like I'm gonna probably fly out tomorrow to go try out for quarterback. So yeah, Cleveland continues to be the oh no, man.
You may make it over Shador. Thank you for the call. And listen, it is
all the quarterbacks.
I wish it was in our contracts to be disrespectful to Memphis. It would be less disrespectful than just how often we forget about the Memphis football program. So it is fair criticism from you.
I think Chad should win just to beat the allegations that we hate Memphis.
Oh, you want to rig it?
Yes, of course.
That's fair. We can reconsider. Peyton in Hendersonville next.
Hey, guys. My O&O is the New York Yankees on Friday.
Oh.
They were up 6-0 in the top of the fifth. Top of the seventh, they were up 9-4. And they went on to get walked off 13-12 in the bottom of the ninth. Also, in June, they were 10 games up in first place in the division. They are now in third place and barely clinging on to the last wild card spot. So
they did it again last night. This is how bad that they have been, that baseball would catch my attention in the middle of the regular season, especially in the middle of training camp season. They dropped the fourth straight last night and another late lead. It's crazy how hard of a time they are having. I think Aaron Judge is getting ready to come back too, which he's missed some time due to injury, which maybe that'll help. But they have been blowing saves left and right. Our buddy Connor has been super frustrated about the New York Yankees. I'm sure many Yankees fans feel his frustration. Alvin is next.
The WNBA is my oh no moment.
Okay.
They got a group of women. It's called the Stud Buds. Got a podcast. When they released that, one of them shot her shot at Angel Reese. If that happens in the NBA, oh no, that's what that would be. That's my oh no.
Well, I think it's a little more accepted in the W than it is in the NBA. I thought he was going to bring up the fact that people are throwing sex toys on the court.
That almost became a trend.
Well, is two instances of the same color sex toy?
I don't think two
does that indicate
is
a trend?
Enough for a trend.
Or just
I think
one,
the same color.
No,
the same color is what sets a trend.
Yeah.
That is what sets it. That makes it a repeat offense.
Was it you that was telling me the other day?
No, I didn't throw it on the court. Oh, telling you what? Sorry.
Well, if I had to pick one person on the show that would be running around throwing sex toys on the basketball court.
No, I would be throwing paper airplane love notes at Sophie.
Sophie Cunningham. Speaking of which, Cameron Brink is back, and we are all better for it. But weren't you telling me that there was gambling odds on, like,
the color
of the sex toy, the next sex toy to hit the court, like betting on the Gatorade showers and stuff like that?
Yeah, someone was talking about an infinite money glitch where if you bet blue is like plus 600. So you bet whatever your max is on blue, buy a WNBA ticket, buy a sex toy, go to the game, throw it on the court, get kicked out, win free money.
Graham is in Nashville next.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Yo.
Hey, my one of the week is there's a tight NL Central race last night. We had the Reds and the Cubs. Dansby Swanson puts one in play, doesn't touch first base, gets out, and the tying run does not score.
Oh, that's brutal. That's awful.
Good submission.
That's a really good submission by Graham. Well done by him.
Lucas right there was like, Daddy, look at my pay. He's like, yes, son, that's great. Throw it on the fridge. Great submission. Yes, who's next?
Can you at least try not to be so publicly bored by baseball? He didn't look up. He's checking the weather again.
I was just reacting to the call.
Yes, that's terrible. Great submission. Next.
Like, I know you don't like baseball, but it's actively ongoing.
It was a good submission.
It's a fair submission by him. You didn't treat it as such. Jim in Murfreesboro is our last submission. We got Jim.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Actually, my oh no is me. I don't know if it counts for this week, but I just realized I'm a long-suffering Cowboys fan. And I know we're not the Jets, the Browns, or the Titans, but the only person stupider than me is Jerry Jones. And I can't stand it anymore, being a fan since 1970. But my oh no is just my realization that I'm an idiot.
Yes, great submission, Jim.
Who gets the tickets?
I mean, I feel so bad for Jim.
Yeah, Jim sounded sad.
You think he's like walking around the house hearing Jerry Jones comments about, I don't think our fans should be so hot and bothered about something that's pretty routine or something that's, completely normal. Just
he said he didn't think fans should lose any sleep over the Michael Parsons situation.
Yeah, so
Jerry Jones might be my daddy, y'all.
Well, you think that Jim's just wandering around his house. He catches a sight of himself in a Cowboys jersey in the mirror and says, you
a sad sigh.
You fool.
All right, who gets the tickets? Ken had
Graham's submission was the best.
Yeah, I think so.
Lucas was super dismissive of it, but Graham's submission was the best. Even though I feel the worst for Jim.
I want to throw it out there again. I think we should give it a Chad for the Memphis hate, and then also the Browns having 2,900 quarterbacks on the roster.
We are going to talk about the Browns. All right, Robert Pick.
I'm going to give it a Chad.
All right, congratulations to Chad.
Yeah, we don't hate Memphis anymore.
Don't ever tell us we hate Memphis. We just
broke the curse.
This Dansby play is crazy.
Will Bowling hates Memphis. I think like Will Bowling. I think it is written into his contract that he has to at least get some Memphis hate onto the show every day, so that he may not have beaten the allegations, but we will, because we'll rig it.
I don't know. Now I'm feeling like it should go to Graham.
Well, it's too late now. Robert picked Chad,
and I just hung up on Graham.
Sorry, Graham.
Rude. You really did, didn't you?
Great submission. Next.
Dansby Swanson said, I don't think I've ever done that in my baseball career.
What? That was for sure the best, oh no moment. But Robert is going to rig it instead. Okay. Well done by Chad. Coming up next, we are going to get into some NFL headlines. Yes, speaking of the Browns.
We are, because Chad's submission is very directly related to NFL headlines. The Browns adding all the quarterbacks.
I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
It's time for NFL headlines. With Lucas Panzica.
You're right. It is funny when it happens to somebody else.
I knew it, too. I was making eye contact with him.
That's the only time you've made eye contact with him all day.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns. More quarterbacks. More. Six quarterbacks on this football team. I know one of them is on PUP because Deshaun Watson's Achilles exploded, I think, multiple times last year. But
that is the
Cleveland
allegation.
Browns,
There's no proof. It is being alleged on the internet that Deshaun Watson retore his Achilles because of a TikTok dance or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not.
Browns have signed Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley.
Famously.
Adam Schefter reported it on Monday. Obviously, this QB competition has been taking place with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shador Sanders. Everyone except Joe Flacco, the old man of the group, have been banged up in one way or another recently. Kenny Pickett hasn't practiced since a hamstring injury that he suffered July 26. Dylan Gabriel was limited this past Monday, also because of hamstring issues. Shador Sanders was held out of team drills this past Saturday because of arm soreness. He did return to full participation Monday, so they bring in another arm in Tyler Huntley. Kevin Stefanski said that the team is still working through its plans for joint practices, which are coming up this week with the Carolina Panthers ahead of their preseason opener. So we'll see what the preseason game looks like for the Cleveland Browns at the quarterback position, but it is slowly turning into the funniest quarterback room in NFL history with now Snoop Huntley in the mix.
I mean, Shador's squarely fifth.
Squarely, I would say, yeah.
That
Joe Flacco right now, QB1 with the Cleveland Browns.
Hell yeah. He's by far and away the most prepared of them and the most qualified of them.
Their depth chart that they released is as follows. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders.
And now Snoop Huntley, I would imagine, is going to be, I think Snoop Huntley would at least be over Shador.
He will be the preseason mule, I would assume.
Preseason mule.
The guy who's going to be like, all right, go out there and play quarterback for the third and fourth quarter.
Why shouldn't it be Shador?
I don't disagree with you, but I'm assuming that's why he was signed.
He's going to get cut.
Shador?
Yeah.
Let's hear from...
He's going to get waived.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll get claimed on waivers, but like, this is crazy. You're going to go to that Shador audio?
Yeah, let's hear from Shador Sanders, who had some interesting comments on not wanting Dion around at Browns training camp.
Because, I mean, like I look at it at my own point of view. Like, I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get to where I want to go. Then for him to see me, I don't want him to come and see me. Get a couple reps and he's cheering like a good dad. Like, nah, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get to where I'm going, and I know it's a lot I got to do to get there. So it's kind of like I just want everything that I'm doing is just like focus on this time, and I don't want no distractions because we know how the media, we know how everybody would take it and take away from the team just from him being my own dad showing up. So, it's a gift and a curse at the same time.
That's Shador Sanders.
That's as good as perspective as I've heard from Shador on anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying the right things there, but he is going through camp in a similar position as almost any other fifth-round rookie quarterback would be going through camp with.
How did the NFL get this so wrong? Like, the NFL gets not in terms of the teams. The teams got it right, clearly.
Like the NFL media?
The pundits.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have a lot of respect for people that do the draft evaluation for a living, whether it's on the media side of things or professionally. Like, it's tough and it's imperfect by any mile, or by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, Emory Hunt, who puts together the most comprehensive draft guide of any that's out there.
Yeah, like, he loves Shador.
UDFA. Well, he loves them both equally.
Yeah.
And they're not even in the same stratosphere. It doesn't mean, by the way, that Cam Ward is going to be, the second coming. Like, Cam Ward will have to go out there and prove it too. But Shador is fifth on the depth chart on a team that has no clear answer at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he was QB2 for Dane Brugler in the Beast as well, rated as a better prospect than Jackson Dart, than Tyler Shuck, than Dylan Gabriel, QB9 for Dane Brugler of The Athletic, who is an expert with this stuff.
Wait,
Again,
where did Dane have him? I'm sorry?
Gabriel, he had at QB 9.
But where did he have Shador?
2. Like everybody else.
Yeah,
almost.
I know.
So it is mystifying.
What is the biggest missing piece here?
I mean, there's obviously the element that none of us, media, fans alike, we're not privy to, and that's meetings, right? Like, that's the only thing that we have no idea. We can't even begin to speak on other than what's reported, which obviously there were some things that were not favorable towards Shador that were reported on from his meetings with teams. But other than that, I don't know. It's mystifying. I can't remember a time where a discourse around a quarterback just dominated so much and then it ended up going just such the opposite direction.
Maybe Manziel. Different reasons.
Manziel was a first-round pick.
And Manziel was an excellent college player.
Yeah.
Nobody would dispute. And Shador was a better college player progressively throughout the course of his career, but he wasn't Johnny Football.
Yeah, Manziel still was a day one guy. Like,
even and that, more impressive based on the talent because of all the stuff people knew about him. Like, that wasn't hidden about all Johnny Football's problems.
No, I mean, we thought early in the process, could Malik Willis be a first-round pick just because the quarterback class wasn't strong and then he falls to the third round, but nothing like this.
I would love to talk to Dane about that at some point. This would actually be a good time to talk to Dane Brugler because it's not like his most busy time of year.
It'd be an interesting exercise. But Joe Flacco in the driver's seat in Cleveland.
What do you got?
Running back deal. There is a running back deal out there. It is not the running back who very publicly is looking for a new deal, but instead it's Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams, who has led the Rams in rushing for a couple of years now, has reached an agreement on a 3-year, $33 million extension, including $23 million guaranteed. That was from Adam Schefter. The workload, we were talking yesterday about workhorse running backs, how many of those guys are still out there. Kyren Williams has been that guy for the LA Rams. Last year, 316 carries for nearly 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. He gets rewarded with his payday. Meanwhile, James Cook, who was tied for the league lead in rushing touchdowns last year, still awaiting his payday and has been sitting out of Bills practice. And when talking to media about it after practice, he has answered every single question with the word business. Business, business, business. His version of I'm here so I don't get fined as he seeks a new deal with Buffalo.
Kyren Williams is such an underrated part of what the Rams do because I think people just typically associate, if you don't watch it on a granular level, and I'm not going to pretend to watch like every snap of Los Angeles Rams football, but I do think people associate McVay's offense with high-flying passing game when a lot of it is fundamentally grounded in the ground game, in the run game. Kyren Williams has been very, very effective for them, as Lucas mentioned, over the last 2 seasons. And I don't know. He's a 5th-round pick, and he ultimately gets rewarded. And the league, it's always cyclical, right? Just as we talk about the competitive balance of teams being cyclical, the ebbs and flows of what has more success and when teams decide to pivot to, okay, we're going to spread everybody out, and we're going to go 3 wide receiver sets, and we're going to throw the ball all over the place. And then when defenses start playing against us with lighter boxes, then we're just going to load up, go 3 tight ends, put a running back in there. Maybe we'll even add a fullback, and we'll just run it down their throats. These things tend to ebb and flow that way. Kyren Williams for Los Angeles, I think, gives them a couple of different dimensions to their game. James Cook does too. But if you're James Cook, how much of your value is negated by the fact that Josh Allen can be a source of their rushing attack, a huge part of their rushing attack, and Matthew Stafford very much cannot?
Yeah, and the Bills don't seem very keen on paying James Cook in the neighborhood of where he wants to be paid, which I think
the Rams need Kyren Williams more than the Bills need James Cook.
He was 3rd in the NFL in carries last year, Williams, behind only Saquon and Derrick Henry.
Because, how many quarterbacks don't possess at least some level of mobility that Matt Stafford, he doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Bills, I think the number that's been floated around for James Cook, kind of the target, is 15 a year.
Yeah.
And
not in their caps.
Williams obviously lands under that number. So we'll see. It's the final year of James Cook's rookie deal in Buffalo.
2 notes from Rams camps. One on your note on his usage and touches in games. Schefter put this out. He accounted for 43% of the Rams' total touches last season. That is the highest rate in the NFL. And another note to the Stafford point. Stafford has already had to leave Rams practice at different points twice for back spasms. So it cannot finish practice due to his back. So I wonder if we wouldn't see some handsome Jimmy G games for the Rams at some point this season.
No, I bet we do. And again, that's a quarterback that does not possess mobility. They have to be able to run the football, and Kyren Williams is obviously going to and has received that heavy workload that way.
Quick trivia for Buck. What college did Kyren Williams play at?
I don't know the answer to that.
Call yourself a Notre Dame fan.
Come on.
Speaking of,
Was he
104.5
really?
The Zone. Yes, he was a fifth. I love when you just like a star player at Notre Dame, drafted, 5th round pick.
2 years ago?
Yeah. 104.5 The Zone's college
That's
football
so
kickoff,
funny.
by the way, for actual college football fans, is Friday, August 29th at Yazoo Brewing Company in Madison. Hope you'll join us as we celebrate the start of college football season. Robert and I will be broadcasting live, followed by Cover 2 and 3HL. While you're there, sign up for a chance to win Tennessee football season tickets and more, plus free kickoff T-shirts, glasses, other prizes for the first 250 people that show up. So come hang out, and to learn more, visit 1045thezone.com/events.
He had 31 touchdowns in 2 years.
He was a fantastic player for Notre Dame football under Brian Kelly.
That's so good. No, Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly's been there at LSU for like 4 years.
He played 2019 to 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played for Brian Kelly. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brian Kelly, he's been in LSU for 12 years.
We're talking about his institution.
Isn't this his 4th season at LSU?
I do think he's going into year 4.
Okay.
So maybe Williams got the very beginning of Marcus Freeman. I'm not sure, but good player for Notre Dame.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay Bucks are bringing in, obviously the Titans head up there later this week, one joint practice on Thursday ahead of the preseason opener on Saturday, and they are bringing in Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, visiting the Bucks, and is expected to sign with Tampa. According to Adam Schefter, it would be his 8th NFL team. He kind of retired, went to go coach his alma mater, won a state championship down there, got called back up to be the backup for the Lions in the playoffs last year. And if he does indeed go through with it and sign with the Bucks, it'll be his 3rd NFC South team with the Saints and Panthers in his career past as well.
I have no recollection of Teddy Bridgewater's Panthers career.
Oh yeah, he was the guy before Darnold, before they brought him in. Like, Teddy's going to fix it, and he was very mediocre.
He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, less than fine. I wouldn't say fine. He was just eh.
The Panthers have such a weird last 5 years, 5-6 years of football as far as their quarterback situation has gone.
Yeah, it's almost like as soon as Tepper showed up, like the whole organization just went in the can.
There's something to be said about trickle down impact of bad ownership.
So
tell Titans fans
could see Teddy Two Gloves. Kyle Trask is still down there, I believe.
So is Michael Pratt. Can we not?
Yeah. Well, Michael Pratt's hurt though.
Okay, so you won't see him. But would you? Can we change the name Teddy Two Gloves? It seems so clumpy. Like I like Steady Teddy. Like he's not going to play.
Nobody's ever called him that.
Okay, we're going to give him a new one. Because now, and he's also steady for them kids, which I assume is why he's taking this job, so he can have more money to fund his high school escapades.
Isn't he suspended?
Ubers.
Which is funny because he's not technically a school employee, but they suspended him anyway.
Well, he can come back, on bye. He can come back, talk to the kids, get them their Ubers, get them their medical treatment, and go back to playing in the NFL.
Baker, I would not expect to see in a preseason because Baker is dealing with a hand contusion, which I think is just a hand bruise. But
he should practice. I don't think he's been missing practice. Baker Mayfield.
I don't think so either, but I don't know. This is like a couple of years ago. The last time we went down to Tampa for joint practices and Vrabel didn't practice. Henry, AJ, Julio, I don't even think Tannehill did that much. I think that there's, almost a heightened degree of risk in those joint training camp practices because it is going to get physical. You are going to relish the physicality. So I think Baker has missed some time.
He missed 2 days last week.
Okay.
Greg Auman, who covers the Bucks, reporting that he was back at practice today.
Today is his first day back.
Yes, he missed 2 days with that hand contusion.
So, I don't know. Against different competition, I think that there might be a reticence to put the starting quarterback out there just for his own, just for safekeeping.
Speaking of the Bucs, this Desmond Watson story has been making the rounds in the NFL. The UDFA.
I feel bad for him, man.
Defensive lineman out of Florida. SEC fans might remember the 450-pounder that played for the Gators the last few years.
Never seen a helmet look so small on a body.
Yeah. He is not allowed to practice at the moment because he is too heavy. So he has been seen walking around the practice field wearing a weighted vest, and he's trying to drop weight to be able to rejoin the Bucs on the practice field. So don't know that the Titans will be practicing at all against the UDFA. But I don't know what the weight is that he's trying to reach that's not been disclosed. But everybody's seeing the videos of him just drudging around the practice field while everybody else practices.
Vest on while he's walking around. Robert, what did you bring up? I think it was off air about somebody saying that Florida Heat was going to get him right.
Oh, yeah, Bucs fans being like, oh, yeah, that Florida Heat's going to get that kid right. He's going to be ready to play. It's like, yeah, he played at Florida, dummy.
For multiple years.
The Florida Heat would have already had him right if that was the case.
I hope he's from Florida. He's from Plant City, Florida.
No.
He literally has spent his entire life since birth. Since birth in the state of Florida.
I also,
that is such a good description of like how little some NFL fans pay attention to college football.
Yeah,
and these guys
like
don't. Oh, sure, for sure. Until this player gets, after having a long established career at a successful or at least a high profile SEC program where everybody in the world of college football would know exactly who that player is, where he came from, what star recruit he was. People at the NFL level are like, oh, welcome.
I would like to know, just for my own edification, is he not able to practice because he has not passed the conditioning test, or did he pass the conditioning test and they just think he's too fat?
I don't know.
I haven't seen any specificity on the reporting. I'm assuming that he can't pass the conditioning test.
And then I would want them to say that. I would want them to say his conditioning is not good enough. He cannot, whatever. Like,
but I think
each team is different.
I think if they do, there's probably some level of fine associated with that. And if the thing is outside of his control, like, I don't think they want to just cost him money as a UDFA. Like, that would be a tough spot to put him.
I mean, that's the name of the game. Like the Ravens, or anytime you sign a contract, if you sign a weight negotiation, like Bryant McKinney used to get fined like $1,000 per pound a day. Like, that's just the name of the game.
But Bryant McKinney was also making significantly more money than a UDFA Desmond Watson. Like, Bryant McKinney was on his second team, at least by then.
Sure, but if you're so worried that, or the fine or the money, that his fat wouldn't be able to be fixed, like, the fine is the reason to get thin. Like, that's the carrot. Like, if you don't think he can get thin, then cut him. Then don't have him on your roster.
Well, they may just do that. But right now, they're trying to see what he can do in an NFL conditioning program. And if it's beyond his control, then I think it would be gratuitous to just cost him money.
I mean, he's been there for 4 months. If you can't play after 4 months, you can't get to do the conditioning test ever. That's what I'm saying. I would like them to say, is he too fat to practice, but he passed the condition? That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
I would just like to know.
They are probably
his entire career.
Robert, I don't disagree with you, but they're probably protecting him to some degree. Carmen Vitale's been down there for 100 years. I can text Carmen and see what the deal is.
I would love that, but I have also never seen an NFL team not be like, nah, we're not going to find that guy. We're not going to save money on our end. Like, I don't know why they would protect him. No NFL team has ever done that.
A UDFA player making pennies on the dollar relative to the rest of the roster.
He made a $20,000 signing bonus.
I think it's okay to take it easy when the fines would be $1,000 of his $20,000 signing bonus. I think it's okay.
And that's my whole point. If you're going to have to fine him that much, then just cut him. If he's not going to be able to play for you or practice, he's taking up a roster spot. That's my point.
Yeah.
Are those the headlines?
Those are the headlines.
615-737-1045. Cameron is in Kentucky, wants to chime in.
What's up, gentlemen?
Yep.
Hey, I got a few things on my docket. First of all, happy birthday, Bert. I'm sorry I missed it yesterday.
It's okay. Love you, buddy.
Secondly, yeah, no problem. Secondly, Buck, if you didn't have that amazing voice and that handsome face, no diddy, your lack of sports knowledge is pretty bad. Lucas just showed you up. But third of all,
I've been getting away with it for years, baby. No stopping me now.
Shador, that audio you play to him is probably the first time that I've heard him actually sound like a professional.
For sure.
I mean, it seems like he's been humbled quite a bit, and I'm not a Shador fan, really. Like, I like Deion. I'm not like on that fence or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not like hyped up. I wasn't on the Cam or Shador train. I'm just happy to be a Titans fan and see somebody come in and get a first round pick. But what do you think if he does get waived? I mean, the way Cam and Shador were going at it before the draft and all that, just maybe bringing him in and seeing if he fits, and maybe they can push each other. I know that some people have said this in the past, but I'm just really curious. They may be able to bring like something out of each other. Both of them could benefit from it. Just curious what you guys think about that.
Thanks for the call, Cameron. I just don't think there's any way that they would. It doesn't. What you're articulating would not be actively undermining Cam Ward, but it would cause confusion unnecessarily.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any reason.
He does
Cam
not
Ward's
lack motivation.
Yeah.
Cam Ward.
Yeah. It would
There's
feel
no
like
addition.
if anything,
There's no need.
It would just feel like a distraction. I feel like it would just adding an unnecessary narrative around the Titans.
It would turn into such a circus.
Yeah. No, I think that, again, that's part of why a lot of teams avoided drafting Shador in the first place.
Yeah, it's a circus. I mean, there's no fifth string quarterback that gets as much coverage as this one does. It's like the Tebow proposition for the Patriots a couple of years ago, where it's just like, why do I want to talk about the third string or fourth string quarterback this much? 615, but I do agree with the guy's point about it's the first time that like you've come away with that sounding like, okay, he seems like he's at least got the right set of priorities at this point. The new SEC series has dropped on Netflix, and there's obviously a lot of local interest in Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We're going to talk about what you could expect if you have not yet turned on this series coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So, the SEC football documentary series, Any Given Saturday, is officially premiering today. I assume it's already out.
It's out. Some reviews are coming in. I've seen mostly positive reviews. I don't know if it's just one episode that's out. I'm assuming it's just the first episode that's out. Of Any Given Saturday.
There is a lot that I think people are excited about, obviously beyond just being college football fans and wanting to see closer, more in-depth coverage in a Hard Knocks style documentary series. It's not like it's the first time one of these has been done. Notre Dame has done this with Amazon Prime previously. I'm sure other college football programs have too, but Netflix is going with a couple of different programs here and going across the board to document all manner of different things. LSU, Vanderbilt, Florida, Auburn, South Carolina, Tennessee are all included in this. Did I miss anybody?
Well, I just know these schools that definitely are not featured, that did not consent to having cameras around and all these things. Texas, Georgia, Bama, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Did not, which somewhat surprises me. Ole Miss and Mizzou kind of surprises me. That Lane and Drinkwitz and their program said thanks, but no thanks.
I kind of does Lane Kiffin need Netflix? I mean, I guess Tennessee doesn't either. Tennessee very opportunistic though as far as the marketing goes.
Yeah,
Always.
for sure. And so is Lane, and so is Drink. Any chance Drink gets to make waves. So I'm just slightly surprised. Slay just texted me, said all 7 episodes are on Netflix, so you can binge the whole thing, which I will tonight. I don't know if I'll get all 7 episodes in, but
he's going to be useless.
That's the
tomorrow.
worst thing about Netflix, dude, is they do not let you enjoy things. You have to either smoke the whole thing right then. It's like there is no putting it out and coming back to it.
Normally your MO.
No, I generally
he leaves that half cigarette outside in that designated spot on the balcony.
And then I'll go smoke it whenever you guys have a guest, and I can pop out of here. And I tell you, I'm going to poop. Never going to poop.
Which program from last season, from the 2024 season, would you be most interested in following around in this series?
LSU,
Brian
I just
Kelly.
think Brian Kelly's such a mess in the middle of this whole thing, and that is the most square peg round hole situation. Like that would be where I would think that would be where more of the drama would be, because that fan base and that particular coach and his inability to win up to their level of expectation, their standard that they have in Baton Rouge. I would think that he would be the most polarizing storyline in that.
I am going with Florida. That's the one I'm most intrigued by, because I don't know.
You're preying on Billy Napier's downfall.
Well, no, this already happened. We're talking about 2024.
Sure.
We're talking about what the documentary will be reviewing or following around from last season. I don't know that any SEC team had a more interesting arc than Florida last year. From Billy Napier, dead man walking, the embarrassment of week 1 against Miami, to suddenly, the injury to Graham Mertz, and then just finding a way out of it, and DJ Lagway emerging a little bit. The football team, the defense greatly improving as the season went on, and then suddenly kind of rescuing their season to the tune of 7 wins in the regular season, and Billy Napier sticking around for another year, where Florida is probably going to be ranked in the top 25 when the AP poll comes out in the preseason. I don't know that there's a more interesting sort of down, up, down narrative in the SEC throughout the 2024 season than the Florida Gators. And I'd be curious just the same for 2025 with what happens, because Billy Napier survived last year, and that's great. But let's say they have injury issues, and it may not be Billy Napier's fault, and DJ Lagway, who was in a boot a week ago, is having some injury struggles and isn't necessarily available, and it hurts their season, and Florida ends up going, let's say, 6-6. He's out of there. I don't think Billy Napier can survive that this year. You're in year 4 at this point. You don't get to say, but wait for this recruiting class to come in next year. You're supposed to already be at that point. And now here you are with this opportunity with this quarterback. So Billy Napier in Florida is one of the most fascinating situations for that reason this year. And it certainly was the case last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of covered that.
It's the same people that did Drive to Survive, right? That kind of birthed this whole, they did the golf thing. I can't remember what that was called. Full Swing.
Full Swing.
I think there's a tennis one out there too. What I don't want out of this, and I've enjoyed, the only one I watched was Full Swing. And I enjoyed it because it happened to be in the middle of the time where the PGA and Live Golf were kind of at odds at each other.
You didn't like Drive to Survive?
I never watched it. I just didn't watch it. Not for lack of interest. I just never got around to it.
It was the first 2 seasons were so
no.
good.
It caused a nationwide phenomenon for F1, as far as I can tell. So I just missed out.
I feel like that's the definition for lack of interest. Like,
What?
yeah, I just didn't watch it.
No, I mean things like. We're in the middle of training camp. Every time I get a day off of practice, like I have to resurface with all the NFL news because there's nothing else going on in my life except who's returning punts for the Titans in any given day.
Brandon says Alabama transitioning to DeBoer is interesting for him and losing to Vandy.
But
Again,
Bama's not in it.
Bama's one of the programs that didn't allow access, but they do cover Vanderbilt. So I'm assuming that we will see an in-depth look at that upset win, more from the Vanderbilt perspective.
Which is the perspective that I'd rather have, honestly, because we know what Bama fans are, or we know how Bama fans reacted to that. What I don't want is SEC propaganda. And I know I have this position on any kind of documentary type of thing anytime it comes out, like who's involved, how much access are they granting? What are we not being allowed to see? Like, what gets left on the cutting room floor that would be actually interesting?
I guess, but like, what's SEC propaganda? Like, this is the best league, so-and-so, them just kind of hammering that point.
Everything's great. Everything's the best. We're the best at everything. And there's nothing to see here other than great football.
I mean, we'll see how much, what do you want to see, I guess is my question. Like, what can you think of anything from last season that you're like, well, they better talk about this?
I didn't hear what you just said because the Russians that hacked your account have apparently called in.
Oh.
Yes.
Is this
that so?
Is this Vlad on line one?
I don't know. He didn't give a name. You can talk to him yourself.
Vladimir?
Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for having me on most popular show. My name is Anatoly from Russia. You can think of me as your bro from Moscow. I geek to point quickly and thank Mr. Lucas Panzica for generous gift of laptop and Xbox.
You didn't get the laptop. What did he say his name was?
Anatoly.
Anatoly? You got the Xboxes, but you didn't get the laptop.
This is a fabrication on your part. Everyone wins in this. Police gentlemen in Connecticut happily forward everything. Thank you very much. I send a wonderful bottle of vodka to you. It may have name gift card from Will Bowling. Disregard this. This is administrative error. This is my gift to you. In my country, Western electronics, due to current capitalist sanctions, are very desirable. As you can imagine, a laptop from North Korea, not so optimal. So thank you very much. We have in my country, you understand, get laptop or die trying. So thank you for saving my life, Mr. Panzica. You generously forward different personal information when going on vacation, names, people. Thank you so much. In future, please put mother maiden name in show. It's very popular.
Thank you, Anatoly.
Thank you, Anatoly.
We're good. Robert, give him my information so he can send that card.
He already has your information.
I was about to say,
clearly, yeah.
Well, the only thing he's missing is your mother's maiden name. Thank you for the call.
That's great. That's fantastic. By the way, that cop called me back the other day.
Oh, yeah?
That cop from Connecticut. He's like, just thought you might want to know that the gentleman that lives at the address where that laptop was supposed to go, like 2 or 3 more packages with like expensive electronic devices arrived at his address, and he turned them into the police. So it just continues happening. Thank you, Anatoly.
I love when you guys prolong a bit like that. That made me very happy. Also, I love that he went out of his way to put the emphasis on vodka, like with
it was
a W.
really well done Russian accent.
It's as good a limited fake.
That was good.
Accent as we've had on the show. I encourage more limited fakes. I'm sure they're all going to be terrible. We're going to get a bunch of fake Russians now calling into the show to try and convince Lucas to give up his mother's maiden name. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to call in. Jeremy Fowler was at Titans practice this week. He has some training camp notes that are worth paying attention to. That's next.
It is 12:02. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans released the first unofficial depth chart of the season. Quarterback Cam Ward, the only rookie listed as a starter. On defense, James Williams is slotted next to Cody Barton at linebacker. The Titans also are reportedly signing veteran safety Joshua Bledsoe, according to Jordan Schultz, formerly of the Patriots and the Steelers. Titans hit the practice field tomorrow in Nashville before heading to Tampa for joint practice ahead of Saturday's preseason opener. In Knoxville, Tennessee defensive back Boo Carter is back to being a full participant at practice with the Vols, 1 week after Josh Heupel said that Carter would have to earn his way back onto the field. In NFL news, Rams running back Kyron Williams has reached an agreement on a 3-year, $33 million extension, including $23 million in guaranteed money. The 24-year-old was a 1,000-yard rusher last year with 14 rushing touchdowns. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Titans training camp gets back underway tomorrow. At least practice on the field gets back underway tomorrow. Welcome in for the final hour. We're happy to have you. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN was in town over the weekend, taking in a couple of different, in fact, I think he was here for both Saturday and Sunday's practice. Saturday practice, an infinitely better showing than was Sunday's, but was in town long enough. I think he said he did 9 how many different training camps in 9 days? He squeezed a bunch in, but
this
got
article
notes on, I think,
16 teams.
16 teams.
Well, he and Dan Graziano split it up. So they collectively stopped at 16 different camps starting July 25th, ending August 2nd this past weekend with Ravens and Titans. So Graziano went to Baltimore and Jeremy came to Tennessee this past weekend.
So it's funny the way that he opens this with the Titans. Quote, excuse Brian Callahan's sunny optimism this time of year. About 7 months ago, he was sitting in his office reflecting on how his Titans won 3 games in 2024, plotting new ways to improve. Is sunny optimist the way to describe the Titans head coach?
I mean, I do think he is an optimist. I think he generally has a positive outlook.
Which is how you need to operate in that job, I would assume, even if, you're in a situation that is not ideal. The circumstance for the Titans that matter the most here, beyond what was observed about Cam Ward, because we've talked about that at great length, are some of the additions that they are considering adding to what they have. The pass rush in particular is a unit. The defensive line is a unit that is suspect. If Calvin Ridley, God forbid, sustaining an injury would be the worst thing to happen to a particular unit on the roster, anything happening to Jeff or Sweat to the Titans defensive line would be 1B to the wide receiver room 1A. We all three agree, right? Those are the two that have the most precarious position. You feel good about Calvin Ridley, you feel good about Jeff and Sweat, but if anything happens to them, you're pretty much banged. So what he adds here is Tennessee is open to adding on defense via free agency, pass rusher and corner, and they did add a safety today, worth noting. Jordan Schultz did report on that. Pass rusher and corner would be the top 2 spots to watch there. I don't think the corner thing has less to do with Snead than it does about the rest of their depth. They don't feel good about the corner depth. And if you're watching Titans practice or you've seen Titans practice, you know how suspect that corner depth looks. So I think that's less about Snead than it is about, all right, let's just see what other options we have at our disposal. But one name to watch, Fowler brings up, is veteran defensive end Preston Smith, who has had a long career in the NFL. He's in his early 30s at this point.
He is 32. He'll be 33 in November. Spent last season with Green Bay and then Pittsburgh. He went to Pittsburgh for the back half of the season. He had 2.5 sacks for Green Bay the first half of the year, 2 sacks for Pittsburgh in the second half of the year. Obviously, he had a stretch run there where he was a productive player for the Packers off the edge since 2019 after starting his career the first 4 years in Washington.
So, he had been in Green Bay for quite some time, because I remember talking to John Robinson at Vandy's Pro Day about Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith.
5.5 years in Green Bay.
Hit free agency at the same time, and the Titans were flirting around both of those and landed neither of them, and I think they both went to Green Bay at the same time.
Yeah, his career season came in 2019, a 12-sack season. That was his first year in Green Bay.
So that would be a help. I mean, they just don't have anybody.
Yeah.
Like if Sebastian Joseph Day or Jeffrey Simmons or Tavondre Sweat, if something happens there, it's just a bunch of dudes.
Yeah. And Fowler points that out, too. He also talks about Cam Ward and the work ethic and all these things, showing up in the morning, what they're going to need out of rookie receivers.
Is it 5 or 5:30? Do we have confirmation?
Actually, this time it said Ward is already a team leader, drawing several rookies to arrive between 4:30 and 5 each morning.
Oh, it's getting
ready for the day.
It's getting earlier.
In fact, he never leaves. He spends the night in the parking lot.
Oh, he got a blow-up mattress in the hallway, does he?
He says, on a recent off day, Ward unexpectedly popped into Callahan at 4 p.m. to go over the next day's scripts. Ward needed to be able to explain the offense the next day, so he wanted to be prepared. He talked to Tyler Lockett, who said he wanted to come to Tennessee to play with Cam after hearing good things from Quandre Diggs, former Titan, and Cam Ward's cousin. But here's the quote about Jeffrey Simmons. He says, I don't often feed the best shape of my life camp themes, but goodness, does Simmons look impressive. He's down 20 pounds and looks a lot lighter. Quote, if it's not chicken or fish, it's not on the menu, Simmons said. Simmons is not a volume sack guy, but is hoping for more pass rush production. The Titans don't have that guy who can go get a sack on 3rd and 7 late in the game. Simmons hoped to fulfill some of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff looks great, and he's highly effective, and he's healthy right now, so you hope all those things hold serve.
He says Bryce Oliver has made a compelling case for the 6th receiver spot, which we know.
I think he's a lock.
I agree. I think Bryce Oliver makes this team. Fowler also says veteran James Prochet hasn't gone away either.
Been making plays on offense, and he's the lead for the punt return spot, which makes the most sense because he's got experience. And they don't, if they go heavy at the wide receiver spot on the initial roster and they have to tweak from there, I think that's fine. Like Prochet's probably wide receiver 7, for those of you asking about Xavier Restrepo. That's another depth chart note that people had thoughts about. I think a lot of people, or a lot of Titans fans in their head, assumed that Xavier Restrepo was going to make this team, and he's very, very buried on the depth chart.
So the 2 pass rush names that are out there that can help you at this point are Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, still out there, both about the same age. Zadarius Smith, a little more productive more recently. Last year was a pretty solid solution for the Lions after Aiden Hutchinson went down.
He's the best solution that they had by far.
That they could have had, yeah. So, and then Preston Smith, by the way, just continues to remind me just the most random trend in college football, and that is Mississippi State just churning out D linemen and edge rushers. Like, it's crazy at this point.
Montez Sweat, Jeff,
Pernell McPhee,
Chris Jones,
Danico Autry, who was obviously here. I mean, Fletcher Cox for so many years, Preston Smith. Just an aside, but kind of insane.
They have a stranglehold on the defensive line market.
He mentions Jeffrey Simmons being that guy potentially to go get a sack on 3rd and 7. We have not talked a lot about the idea of Jeff getting moved around the front.
He did last year.
And playing a little more on the edge. Like, do we see that a little more consistently this year?
They have to do something.
This
is the kind of, because like Denard has talked about this at press conferences, like the scheme has to help the players get where they need to be. They can't just be relied upon to like, all right, go get him type of situation. You got to put guys in advantageous situations. You got to create your one-on-one matchups as they present themselves. In fact, that I think is going to be a fun thing to watch with Cam. And I know Brian Flores is not going to throw everything at him in a preseason game, the final preseason game at home. But I was reading. Do you guys subscribe to many things on Substack? I think there's a lot of really good people doing a lot of really niche type of football work specifically, and political work if that's your vibe, but just a lot of good written content being produced on Substack. There's one that I subscribe to that goes really, really granular with the football detail on some of the schemes that coaches are running and where those things come from. Brian Flores' defense was one of the subjects of conversation and how he's doing so much more on the front end and blitzing at such a higher rate, or not even blitzing, but pressuring at such a high rate where you basically have 8 guys on the line of scrimmage on any given play, and then he's showing you a completely different look post-snap than he is pre. Denard Wilson doesn't have to do that necessarily, but he's got to do things to help these guys get one-on-one matchups, because Jeff's Jeff's main point with his level of ineffective is not the word, but his lack of overwhelming effectiveness. How about that?
Of high-end production.
High-end production has been, well, I get double-teamed a lot. Okay. Sweat got double-teamed more last year. And it's not like Sweat is, getting 10 sacks a season or anything like that. But Sweat is eating up a lot of those double teams, which is what he is in part there to do. Jeff is getting one-on-one matchups and maybe hasn't necessarily been healthy enough to win the way that we expect him to, and has had moments where he looks like he can still do the things that you expect Jeff Simmons to do, but we're waiting for more. It is fair to expect more of Jeff Simmons.
This is as much as we've seen, too, on any report on a name out there, a pass rusher for the Titans to sign.
Well, it's a name that's available. It's a name that would be less expensive than Zadarius Smith, and the Titans aren't trying to spend a bunch in free agency, despite they have the cap space that would, I think, make fans, or at least lend itself to fans being like, all right, why aren't you going to get more? Why? Well, you have money, go get more. You have cap, rather, go get more.
Do you remember how he was utilized in Pittsburgh last year? Because he requested
Preston Smith?
Yes, because he requested the trade from Green Bay because he was playing defensive end.
I don't, but I can pull up his alignment stuff on Pro Football Focus.
Well, for a while, he's been an outside linebacker many years, and then his role got moved around. I believe under Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, moved him down to defensive end. But in 2024, they tried to push him back out to outside linebacker. And he was public about not being comfortable with that switch in the new defense. He requested a trade. The Packers granted it, and he went to Pittsburgh.
All right, I'm pulling up his premium stats on Pro Football Focus just to see his alignment here. Let's see. Snap counts. All right, right defensive end. He played 121 snaps at right defensive end last season for Green Bay. He was, what does DRE stand for? Robert, do you have any idea what DRE stands for on Pro Football Reference? Or Pro Football Focus?
Maybe just like right defensive end. No idea.
Okay. So they moved him around more. He did play both sides of the formation in Pittsburgh, which was not a thing. They had him almost exclusively lined up on the right side in Green Bay. Here, or at least in Pittsburgh, after Week 10, it looks like they moved him around on both sides of the front a little more, where he played a total of 161 defensive snaps for them, but it was all across different spots there.
And part of that's probably because T.J. Watt generally rushes over the right tackle, so that spot is a little more solid, and Alex Highsmith was dealing with injuries last year, so they needed a third guy to kind of rotate in.
Alex Highsmith has been a low-key really good player.
Not even low-key. He is I think he's paid like a top 15 edge rusher at this point.
But either way, I think he would...
Is that another Kentucky guy?
No, he played at Charlotte.
Alex Highsmith?
I thought he was Kentucky.
No.
Okay.
Kentucky does have...
You're thinking of Bud Dupree.
No, I remember Bud Dupree being from Kentucky, but I thought they had another one.
I mean, Zadarius Smith went to Kentucky. Like, they also have a decent little line of linebackers. Josh Hines Allen.
Yeah.
But Preston Smith kind of fits that mold of what the Titans have looked for this offseason.
Well, he's definitely a bigger body.
Jones, a bigger body that they can play up front.
They are trying to move away
end.
from Arden Key style of players.
And Smith kind of fits that.
So, all right. 5 sacks last year, 15 solo tackles, no forced fumbles. He had 12 hurries, according to Pro Football Focus. Only credited with one quarterback hit and 18 total pressures. So he's not, it's another late career Jihad Ward style player that can at least give you some level of rotation if they were going to add him. I mean, they could do worse right now unless they're going to lean on the likes of Titus Leo and Ollie Gay and those kind of guys who are trying to make a roster here. Depth chart. The Titans depth chart is out. There are some additional notes that we need to talk about and a surprising reaction that I saw yesterday on social media to the Titans' placement of some of these players. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. don't know if I just heard more of a leaf blower or Ramon Foster in that promo, but we're going to work on that. Anyway, Trajan Wealth is somebody that will help you work on your financial wherewithal. If you are somebody who's feeling some level of insecurity about your finances, or you've experienced that before, you know how uncomfortable it can be and how important that financial independence that everybody is seeking is to your peace of mind. Trajan Wealth is here to help you through that process, whether it's wealth management, retirement planning, or strategic investments. They can put you in position to succeed. If you're interested in wealth management that's designed to protect, maintain, and expand your financial portfolio, Trajan Wealth understands the importance of those tactical investments and tailored insights for growth in line with your level of risk tolerance. So call Trajan Wealth today to learn more about the strategies that can put you in position to succeed. 2 locations here in Middle Tennessee, Brentwood and Franklin. Their number is 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000, or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Plenty of sunshine in Tampa Bay. It's where the Titans are heading tomorrow. First, they're going to practice here in Nashville. Then they'll pack things up. I assume most things are already packed up. Head on down to Tampa. Joint practices against the Bucs. One day of practice against the Bucs. And then the preseason game. Saturday night at Raymond James Stadium. Titans radio coverage, of course, will be part of that as well. We are doing the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, from what I hear. So it'll be Brent and, well, actually, I think it's Zach and Blaine. I don't know if Brent's doing this first one, but I saw on my email, I'm pretty sure Zach and Blaine will be doing the 2 hours of pregame.
Somebody will.
All I know is I'm on the phone. So whomever, I know Blaine will be here in some form or fashion. Whoever's hanging out with Blaine, I will call in for a segment, as is the custom on the road, and we'll look forward to doing that together. The depth chart is something that is out as we work our way through the preseason discussions and the numbers of the players that we think will be kept. I haven't seen people start to do 53-man roster projections. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but as we get closer, probably after the first preseason game, more of those will be produced. Yeah. Turn your microphone on.
Damn. We were on a good streak there of like the last 5 times.
You were on a good streak. 5? No. It's, all
right. You're right. 6 or 7.
Little hyperbolic there. Listen, you got the Kyron Williams thing over me. All right. You won today. I can't get over how funny that is. That's really good. Anyway.
But I feel like preseason games will be, I don't know. Is it hyperbolic to say maybe preseason games will be more telling than usual to figure out this initial 53?
Oh, sure.
Like punt return job.
Your starters are going to be your starters.
Yeah.
Like there is no that. I don't think there is any active open competition right now, even though Frank Bush keeps saying that the linebacker spot is in flux next to Cody Barton.
The punt return, but I see like offense defense.
Offense defense.
Yeah.
In fact, Robert, if it's not too much of a bother, you can.
It is.
Well, it's too bad. Go.
What do you want?
I tried to be nice to you, and you started that.
What do you want?
Go get the Frank Bush audio from the Twitter group. I want to hear from the linebacker coach about the linebacker competition, please.
But yeah, there's not really another wide open starting job at this point in time.
Offensively
line or defensively.
When Lloyd Cushenberry comes back, he'll be the center. Right now it's Corey Levin. Nothing. I mean, the corner stuff. Okay, when Snead comes back, it's him. He's not back.
Maybe there's a receiver. Maybe Alec Iomanor can play his way into. Oh, now you're changing your tune.
No, not by week 1. I think week 1 it's Van Jefferson.
Oh, I thought Van Jefferson was nowhere close to a lock to making this initial roster.
I don't think he's nowhere close to making a.
But you just said he's a starter in week 1.
Yeah, I think he's more likely to be.
You
a
have
starter.
to be on the initial roster to be a starter. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Chasing your tail a little bit.
I don't think so.
Before you two fight, I have Frank Bush on the competition next to Cody Barton.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay, well.
Play it anyway.
Always prepared, always ahead of, the things that we're trying to install and get done, and then which allows him to be ahead of the offense when they line up. He can recognize formation sets and all those things. He has a real good feel for, run pass situations, and he can get that information to all the different players. So, what you learn is that he's a consummate pro.
You're talking about Barton here.
Football is always on his mind, and he's always doing the things to kind of get himself better and help the defense get better.
James seems to really have seized. You gave it to him at the beginning. He hasn't let it go.
We're still fighting that battle. It's a good competition in the room. James is doing a great job. Cedric is coming along, and even Curtis Jacobs and Otis. Those guys are starting to show up. So that competition is still going on. We're gonna find the best one out of the bunch. But right now they're fighting like hell to see if they could be the guys who run out there with the rest of the guys.
Year 1 to year 2 with him and Cedric. How do you feel about where they've gotten better?
You know what? You see the maturity in both those kids. Obviously, last year they were just here as rookies and kind of flailing around and got thrown into the action a little bit later in the season, probably quicker than what we wanted to. But this year, you see a level of maturity. They're starting to own the information that we're giving them, and now it's time for them to go and look at the offense and study offenses and understand, the tendencies and whatnot that come along with formation. And they're coming. Going to Tampa will be a good test for them. Playing these preseason games will be a good test for them. But you do see signs of improvement with all those guys.
So that's Frank Bush pushing off the idea of, well, no, it's James Williams' job, even though it's James Williams' job.
It's his to lose. I would say.
Yeah, if he loses it, it's going to be in the preseason because he plays poorly.
Like, if it's a 50-50 battle right now, why isn't Cedric Gray getting any reps with the ones?
Also, are we getting away from the mama thing?
I know. We had someone in the chat was waiting for the mama.
It's too bad. Got to keep you guessing. But I also feel like with James Williams' relative greenness to the position, you have to be willing to let him make some mistakes on the job, right? Like as long as you're making mistakes at 100 miles an hour and you're committing to it and not the second guessing and the feet chopping, like if he's making mistakes at 100 miles an hour, I'm okay with that.
It's different than Kenneth Murray, who would make mistakes and make them at 100 miles an hour, but he's a 4 or 5 year vet by that point, a former first-round pick and somebody who they're relying on the way that they are now relying on Cody Barton. That was not something that they could do last year. So I think because Cody Barton is here, that allows for more wiggle room for the younger guys, because there are a bunch of younger, inexperienced dudes top to bottom, and that James Williams gets a little bit more freedom there because Barton is there to pick up the slack.
And I believe I saw a quote, I don't know who to credit this to, but they want to see how James Williams plays when Cody Barton isn't next to him. Was that a real quote? Did I make that up in my mind?
I don't remember that. Maybe I wasn't over there.
Let me do a little digging and see if I can find that. But that would be telling. They're like, hey, he looks great next to Cody Barton, but
Let's see what he looks like without him.
Right, when someone's not there to make the checks for him. But that may have been a melatonin dream of mine. I don't know. I need to double check on
that would be a good thing to bring up. I don't think that you would just make that up. Although you should have seen his drunk ass trying to talk to my buddy who's a former offensive lineman at LA Jackson.
Let's not talk about this.
Sweating and spitting.
I was like, it's really about the hand placement when you're going against somebody who's a better athlete than you. Because you may beat me off the punch.
Bobby asked me one football question when we're hanging out at the bar, and Robert just launches into his scouting evaluation of Femi Oladejo that nobody asked for. Bobby is at least 6'5", and the fact that your spittle was reaching his face, that he had to walk away and wipe his face after that conversation, it's as disgusted as I've ever been with you.
I was so tore up that night. He was like,
nobody should sweat that much just because you had to put on full-length pants.
He asked you.
Something else was wrong.
He asked you, how does Femi look? And I remember like, yeah, he looks okay, but can I use you as an example?
He literally got up as if he was underneath Bobby's imaginary chest, shoulder pads, and started maneuvering around. I'm like, let him go. Yes, he does. That is a college football player looking at you like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, he's really having trouble.
I'll show you how he is.
He's really having trouble fighting off when somebody gets their hands on him, But just grab me like you would.
You doing your fake drunk sounds more sober than you actually sounded.
I was so messed up. They should not have let me in.
I agree. I'm pissed that they did.
It's their fault if you think about it.
I snuck around a huge group to actually get in there.
Because there was a line. I thought there was no way you were going to make it through that line, and then all of a sudden you're there talking way too close to my face.
Hey, buddy, you want to give me a drink real quick? Something wet and cold.
I'm so mad at you. I kind of forgot about that.
Here's how you beat somebody's basic cross chop. And dude was like, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, great, more room. We could show technique in there. That's what I'm talking about.
He's
great
trying
thinking.
To play
good thinking.
He's trying to play bull in the ring on the rooftop at LA Jackson. God.
I miss that guy.
Read what you need to read.
God, I was trying to think of a good transition.
There's none.
Join 104.5 The Zone and 3HL as we broadcast live from 3 to 6 p.m. tomorrow on Wednesday for the grand opening of Fozzie's in Franklin. So stop by, enjoy food, drink specials, and more. For more info, visit 1045thezone.com/events.
Okay.
So if the starters are the starters, as you say, then your wide receivers right now are Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson.
Yep. I was standing with Derek Mason, not the MTSU coach, the former Titans wide receiver, at practice yesterday, and he was watching Alec Iamaner, and specifically like how he started off, how he's trying to accelerate, and noticing a bunch of. I don't want to take Derek's words or twist Derek's words, but I think he was describing it as unnecessary motion, as he was trying to like overemphasize how he's getting off the ball in those particular situations. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, Robert, the way that he what was the fake Cleveland Browns jersey thing with the helmet on the floating raft and the guy that did the leg kick, the guy that you determined was an influencer instead of like just an accidental thing that the Browns were trying to do a bit.
Where they were debuting their new helmets on the raft.
And when you showed me that leg kick that the guy did after the fact from a different angle, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's faking. Like the leg kick that Iamaner does, where he's like reaching so far out to get that initial step. That's almost an unnecessary, like it takes him too long to get going there, and creating unnecessary motion was something that Derek was pointing out. And it's not a big thing. It's not an indictment. He's still probably going to be a good football player and certainly has acquitted himself well. But I think there's just little technical things that the veterans are doing better than the rookies right now that would lend themselves to be, all right, if we have to be ready for week one and we're going to give these guys the best chance to succeed in week one as humanly possible, that would lend itself to Van Jefferson being a more likely outside starter than, for example, Alec Iamaner, who I know Titans fans are excited about and should be excited about, but there's just some additional things that he's got to work through with Tyke Tolbert.
So again, you believe Van Jefferson is a starter, but is not a lock to make this roster.
All right. What I said was I don't think that Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson. No, I'm trying to work through it because I think it's fair what you're saying. Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson both don't have to be locks on this roster. But there is a scenario where they can be on this roster and they can contribute right away, and Alec Iamaner or Chimere Dike can end up being players that play more reps or play more snaps than them.
But here's the thing. All those guys can and probably will be on the roster.
Also, I said that before the Traylon Burks thing, before the James Prochet thing. Like, you are so revisionist history.
Don't make James Prochet
history.
I mean, really, right now, it feels like the first 6 receiver spots on this roster
it's done.
Are kind of done. Like Bryce Oliver,
that's what I'm saying.
The 2 rookies,
the 3 depth chart. There's going to be a lot of hemming and hawing over like things like Restrepo. It's done.
If they keep 7 receivers, it will be between Kinsey and Prochet and Restrepo. I mean
and I don't think there's anything between Kinsey, Prochet, and Restrepo. Prochet is their leading candidate for the punt return job and wide receiver 7.
And preseason games, I mean, that's one of those positions that can most be won in a preseason game, right? The punt return job, like when there's live bullets flying and you actually have a coverage team that can come down and take your head off. We've seen injuries happen on punt returns in the preseason. We've seen jobs won and lost at that spot in the preseason. So Prochet's in there right now, and he's in the driver's seat. But 3 preseason games to go. We'll see what happens when that ball's in the air.
If he has a ball security issue or anything like that, like the same way that Jaquan Jackson played himself out of the return job last year. Because right now he's the starting kick returner, but that doesn't have to be the case by the time week 1 rolls around. In fact, I think you're probably hoping that it's not. If you've seen what Jaquan Jackson has done or not done in training camp so far, I think there's cause to be concerned, at least as far as his receiving stuff goes.
Also, this isn't a big surprise for people that have been watching practice, but Josh Wiley kind of buried on the tight end depth chart.
Yeah, he's 6'7" and getting mossed by Darrell Baker Jr.
He's tight end 4 right now. He's Gunnar Helm and David Martin Robinson.
I think he's more pre-cut. I think he's more pre-cut than Jaquan because Jaquan has more, theoretically, special teams value. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Before we get too far removed for it, that quote that I brought up, I found that. That was Denard Wilson saying, James Williams has grown up, but he's still, Denard, in this quote, saying Denard is he still wants to see him as James Williams in games and wants to see him operate on the field when Cody Barton is not next to him.
Who's him?
So that was Denard Wilson.
Who's on first?
Him was, yeah, exactly. Who is on first? That's what we're saying. So who is on?
So James Williams is him, is the point of what you're trying to say.
Okay, don't do that. Oh, look who just walked in.
Hello, Ross.
You got to get on that mic.
I don't have nothing to say to him.
He might have something to say to you.
I don't care.
What do you mean?
Do you have something to say? You have some defense of yourself for being as bad as you were at primetime last night?
I thought it was hilarious, and you're being a Debbie Downer.
Sounds about right.
Well, hey, welcome to the club. We got jackets.
We have jackets.
I just realized Josh Wiley is the backup long snapper.
Time to find a new one of those. Hey, Ross, will you watch this while I go poop real quick?
Sure.
We're going to the Indian place after this.
No, we know now that him needing to go poop is code for I'm going to go smoke that half cigarette I left outside earlier.
Yeah.
Which makes more sense than him taking a 2-minute poop.
Makes a lot more sense, actually. That is what's been happening. I think he's been lying every time he says he has to go to the bathroom.
Nobody should be that regular.
Yeah.
Unless he's just back there chugging Fiber One or something like that. Anyway, so The other thing that surprised me about this, and again, internet reaction is not the real world, thank God. And Twitter is not the real world.
What were they freaking out about?
Thank God. People leaving sarcastic comments underneath like the depth chart posts about, oh, well, that looks like a 6-win football team. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's twice as many as
they
last
were a
year.
3-win
Yep.
football team last year, kids. What'd you think they were going to be? 6 would be a triumph.
Well,
If they win 6 games and they're not getting their asses kicked every time they get on the field halfway through the first quarter, Jaden Daniels is just demolishing them on every drop back that he has. Yeah, that's a substantial improvement from being the worst team in football.
Well,
who'd you think was on the roster?
It takes us back to the segment that we had in the first hour on which team in Tennessee has the highest expectations from their fan base. Like polling the average reasonable fan of the Titans. What do you think the majority of people that fall under that
I have
category
no idea. I genuinely
expect win-wise? Because we all we've talked
I
about
almost
was
think there's
Callahan.
like so many different factions of Titans fans competing against one another. Like Cam Ward's the truth, Cam Ward's the savior, and then there's the people that are like, oh, it's going to be the worst team in football
Sure.
again.
Here's the thing: Cam Ward can be the truth, and they can still be a bad team. Joe Burrow was the truth. He is the truth.
He got hurt, though.
He got hurt. They were still a bad football team when he got hurt.
I think it's the Vols just because they're the most, there's more of them and they're unrealistic at every turn. Like there's more unrealistic Vols fans than I would imagine just Titans fans generally.
Yeah, but even like baseline expectation, like you said, reasonable baseline expectation can be 8 wins. For Vanderbilt, it's probably bowl eligibility. For Tennessee.
Wins, yeah.
For Vanderbilt, it's probably bowl eligibility. For the Titans, it's 5 to 6. I think is a reasonable
If they win
thing
6,
to expect.
it is a triumph. Like you don't understand how big a deal 6 wins would be for the worst team in football last year. Vegas thinks they're not doing more than 5.
I guess the question is, what is reasonable to expect? 8 or more is not reasonable to expect.
For the Titans? Hell no.
So is 5 to 6 a reasonable place for fans to say, that's what I'm expecting out of this season?
I expect them to win 5 games. And if they look significantly better doing it, and if they are in closer games than they played last year more regularly, like if they are giving themselves an opportunity, but you know what? They fall out on the wrong side of
like the Panthers last year.
A 1-score game, right? The Panthers are a 5-win foot. How much better do Panthers fans feel after the back half of last season?
They won 5 games. They, especially at the end of the year, were losing games by 1 or 2 possessions instead of 3 or 4.
That's what I'm saying.
And their quarterback was showing progress. If you can get that out of this season, then as a Titans fan, it's hard to expect much more than that.
You guys lost 7 games by double digits last year. If you just even out that a little bit, it may be worth 2 wins to you, and that be an improvement, and give yourself more opportunity, something to work towards. Whew. Last call for phone calls. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Last segment of the day, training camp tomorrow. J.C. Latham's on the show. Last call for phone calls if you got them. 615-737-1045. Let's start, or I guess wrap up, with Eric in Gallatin.
Hey, good morning, guys. Or not good morning, good afternoon. I just have a very important question. I think we have all stressed ourselves out with football here recently. Not that that's a bad thing, but I need you to answer this important question, all three of you. I need your top three, in no order, it can be in order, Little Debbie snack cakes. Because I think honey buns are a great one, zebra cakes, and oatmeal cream pies. I look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts. I love all of you, and that includes you, Bucky. Bye-bye.
Love you too, buddy.
Oatmeal cream pie, number one. No.
Easily, yes.
No. Number one's the best one.
What?
Insanity. I'll go honey bun 2 and cosmic brownie 3.
Oh, cosmic brownie is also terrible. Zebra cakes also terrible.
Zebra cakes are the best.
Oh, ugh.
They are the best.
It's like eating a couch cushion. No way, dude.
No, that's what the cosmic brown, like there's nothing that indicates brownie or, a cosmic experience. Like if I want a cosmic brownie, I'll go get one laced with something. I can't imagine that cosmic brownies are something that are being consumed on a regular basis. Zebra cakes are the best of the Little Debbie snacks. You will not tell me otherwise.
I think everyone is grossly underrating the Nutty Buddy.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Ooh, Nutty Buddies are great. Not to be just throw it in there with the cream pies, but Nutty Buddies cream pies, my favorite.
Yeah. I had to remind myself what Nutty Buddies are, but I think
are Twinkies a Little Debbie snack?
No,
or Twinkies Hostess.
I think that's their. Is it Hostess?
Yes, Twinkie is Hostess.
Nutty Buddies belong in the top 3.
Oh,
for
Benjamin
sure.
Buck with the submission on YouTube. Swiss rolls also
gross.
The two of you will eat oatmeal cream pies, but not a Swiss roll?
Yeah, no.
Oatmeal cream pies are easily the best Little Debbie snack.
Insane.
Nick Saban has been eating 2 oatmeal cream pies for breakfast.
Okay, just
for
because
years.
the greatest of all time at something doesn't mean it's good.
Or you guys ever had those Star Crunch? It's like a Rice Krispie chocolate crunch.
No.
They're also good.
I wasn't aware that we were doing knockoff Rice Krispies.
No, this is a Little Debbie. It's a Little Debbie treat called Star Crunch.
All right. So we can agree zebra cakes are the best.
No, I would put that at the very bottom of my list.
I think that's the least popular opinion the two of you have had. I think zebra cakes would win a popular vote.
They are the candy corn and Peeps of Little Debbie.
No. No.
Yes.
Not even close.
Yeah, very close. In fact, adjacent.
Not even remotely as polarizing. There is nothing more polarizing than candy corn, it seems, in the snack world.
I'm surprised you don't like the unicorn bars, which are the sparkling strawberry variety of Swiss rolls.
Oh, I bet those would be good.
Yeah, maybe if you're a 4-year-old. But we had more important issues to get to the bottom of. Ross is going to be fired if he does not stop clicking on these phishing emails that come through. If you're unfamiliar, they are phishing for information. They'll say something like, "Hey, you need to update your corporate."
Yeah, like the Russians. We need your mother's maiden name for us to be able to move forward with your annual bonus that, of course, Ross would not get because he doesn't do anything that would warrant a bonus.
But the thing of this is that our company sends these fake ones out, so you are more aware of when phishing scams come through.
Which is why I don't check my email.
Well, I would agree with you because I also flag everything that comes from anything suspicious now because when I first got hired, I failed these every single month. But Ross, would you like to defend yourself continually failing? I think June and July and April, you have failed your phishing exams.
I'm not going to try to defend myself. It's not good. It's bad. But I believe in July I didn't fall for anything. I know that May...
That is categorically false.
May and June were rough months.
How did you not get got by the Russian mafia?
Well, I don't have anything they would want.
Yeah, he's a producer. They don't want anything we have. It's what you guys have.
No, he's not a producer. He's a board op.
That's a bad word, dude.
Oh, is that a slur for you all?
That is our slur. We do not. At 104.5 The Zone, we do not employ any board operators.
The most offensive thing you can say to a producer is call them a board op.
What has Ross produced? All right, go ahead and give me the thing that Ross has produced.
Ross has produced some incredible content for our YouTube platform. If you've missed it, you should go to our YouTube with 104.5 The Zone. Check out our shorts.
I have produced the YouTube content. Ross is responsible for posting it.
Hey, okay, if he didn't post it, if he didn't put captions, if he didn't put a little sticky thing that was like Xavier Restrepo running one-on-one routes, that no one would know. It would be categorically inept. No one would. Who is that guy? Who is that small guy?
Really, reaching here.
You're acting like going to practice and taking videos is a hard job. You got it real rough over there, bud.
Oh, it's so hot out here. I have to hold this camera.
It's not about the degree of difficulty.
It's about the degrees outside,
I've got to take a vertical video.
Oh, no, this one was sideways. Whatever will I do?
I can't believe the person that has failed multiple fake email tests is comfortable making fun of anybody right
Get this reel up for me, please.
Got Ross off the top row.
Well, that's because I know it's fake because I've never said please to him in my life.
If I don't post this ladder drill, who will? Someone's got to do it.
Hey, you know what? The ladder drill does better than anything else we post.
Hey, you're not wrong.
That's not an us thing. That's a them thing.
You are not wrong.
I wish that wasn't true. I wish I didn't have to I've been taking videos of the same drills for 9 years, and for some reason, you people still gravitate towards it like moth to a flame.
So, Ross, what do you think is the issue you keep running into when it comes to the phishing emails?
I just lack a lot of common sense, I think.
No, you don't read.
That
You don't read. You just
what red flags are getting you?
The thing that they tell you exactly not to do. Hey, if there is a link that looks suspicious, don't click it. Ross clicks it.
To be fair, they do a good job with those emails. Like, whoever is doing those does a good job.
I used to get them
a good job.
Yeah, okay, they used to send them, and it would be like, we have received a complaint from a listener. Please click here to read it. And I'm like, oh, God, what did I say? And it's like, haha, you just got got by the phishing exam. Like, well, damn it. What do you want? Do you want me to respond to these complaints?
This is the only thing I'll ever say in defense of Ross. I failed those things all the time the first year that I worked here, and now I just don't check my email.
I will say there was someone else who had to do the July training with me, the phishing training. I won't say who. I won't
name
burn
names.
them like that, but
name names.
Name their name.
Their initials are BB, and they might have a show after this.
Oh, really? Blaine got?
Me and the hitman were in training together.
They got old Blaino too. No.
You know what, Blaine? Just be like me. Don't check your email. It's a much better place to exist. And anything I need to know, Robert will eventually get harassed long enough because I haven't checked my email, and he'll have to tell me. If we were to do the polls today, who would they be presented by?
Oh, we got time for some polls.
All right. Oh, wait, real quick. My buddy Bobby just texted me and said, just heard you retelling the story from L.A. Jackson a few weekends ago with Robbie giving the scouting report. That was effing hilarious. So you did not offend him so much.
Tell him whenever he wants to drill again, I'm down. Meet me at L.A. Jackson.
I hope that Bobby actually drills you one day because he is a giant human being, and that would go poorly.
Polls are presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Which football team do you have the highest expectations for this year? Between Vols, Vandy, and Titans, it goes Tennessee, 49.8%, Vanderbilt, 29.6%, Titans, 20.6%. That feels about how it stacks up.
Next.
Which SEC team will be the most interesting in Netflix's Any Given Saturday? Karen says Ole Miss. They're not really in it. Mr. Donkey says Georgia. They're not really in it. Brady says South Carolina.
All of the ones that aren't in it.
Tyler wants to follow the Vandy-Bama game in that moment and the goalpost being carried into the Cumberland.
That would be good.
Biggest takeaways from the Titans depth chart. Brian says Helm at tight end 2. Gunnar Helm, the rookie.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones suck.
Yeah. And what job is a better fit for Derek Dooley, football coach or senator? 74% say senator.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how bad he was as a football coach.
Those are the polls.
All right, very good. That's the show. Blaine Bishop, Zach Lyons. Coming up next, we'll have no prime time tonight. Practice tomorrow. J.C. Latham on the show. Look forward to talking to him about his move back to right tackle. And look forward to hanging out with you guys from 10 to 1 tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll even let Ross do some actual producing instead of whatever the hell it is that he's doing other than failing email tests on a regular basis. See ya.
And they die.